Welcome to Lifted, elevating the game. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to Lifted, episode 20. The last interview of the late Gigi Morali tournament in New York series, part 4. We have I know you usually do 5 interviews, but we have a 5th show coming your way this weekend, which I want to talk about first. The 5th show will actually be a pool and format reveal show, which will have myself, Bode, and a special guest in Hasnain Gigi, who's going to be joining us, and we're going to be breaking down the pools, the format, and that'll be released on Sunday. So be on the lookout. Keep looking out for some updates. But Sunday, you guys should all know what is going to be your pool, what is going to be your road, your map to possibly making it in to the playoffs and so forth. With that being said, that means I will know the pools on Saturday. So if you want to hit me up, for some leaking, I got you. Just kidding. Don't text me. Bode will get upset if I leak the pools out early. Number 2, lifted swag. I know I talked about it a lot, but they're printed. They're done. They're coming to New York. There's 2 sets, 1 zip up, 1 hoodie. They'll be at a stall that New York Union Islanders is setting up. So please support New York Union Islanders, support Lifted, and check them out. And hopefully you guys purchase some. The third announcement I have is actually a pretty big announcement, which is there's a tournament next year. There's a tournament, and it's going to be announced first here on Lifted. I'm sure you all have heard about it. And New York will be where I think this team, well, I can say it now, Vancouver, is going to announce that Friday, May 23rd to Sunday, May 25th, 2025, Vancouver is going to be hosting a tournament. That is Memorial Day weekend next year. The last time they had a tournament was April 2017, I believe, and that was when Dream Team won. Obviously, I have great memories of Vancouver. It was a wonderful tournament. They're great hosts. And, there's so much to do there, even if you are, everyone's flying out all the way to Vancouver, so much to do. They want me to let you know that what's going to make their event special is that they want to elevate the experience for all their attendees and family members. So they have booked 2 gyms exclusively for the men and women, respectively, and both are walking distance from each other and walking distance from the accommodation. So this will be a first. It's going to be pretty much kind of like a tournament feeling where everyone's around each other. It's going to be 2 gyms. It's going to be a hotel right next to each other. So that's pretty cool. No more worrying about having to be late, right? I've had many teammates like that. KJ, Yasser, Wally. So a lot of them, they can wake up now like 5 minutes before and still make it. For those who have never been to Vancouver, you guys are going to love it. Please make sure you make it out there. It's going to be a big, huge tournament, and Vancouver does an awesome job. You don't want to miss this. You're going to have a link soon to register your teams, book your flights. And I am personally very excited to be back to Vancouver next May, and I hope to see you all there. So big announcement next May, Vancouver, first time being announced on Lifted, and will be announced in New York. The last thing I want to say is I know I've done 4 interviews this year, for this tournament. I'm going to continue doing this for Lifted. I'm going to continue doing volleyball tournaments, and I'm not going to leave that because that's what got me into doing this. It was a passion project, and I've immersed myself into it, and you guys have been so wonderful to support me, whether that's the sponsors. There's so many of them, they don't even want to be named, and that's where that money is going to be going into what's next for Lifted. And then there's just people, right, in general. You guys have all been wonderful, and so I want to thank you all for that. But Lifted is going to be taking a turn. It's going to be expanding its horizon in a way, and you'll see that post-tournament. We have a very I guess you can say interesting interview set up for after the tournament, but it's going to be a totally different view. It's going to be more community members, more people that are going to be want to talk about life, want to talk about just mental health, want to talk about trials and tribulations that they faced, and things that are going to help our community grow. I think it's going to be a big, huge step for Lifted, and it's going to be a big, huge step for our community. So we want to be a place where everyone can come, everyone can talk, everyone can share their stories, and stories. I think for me is the best way for people to connect with one another. So I'm excited for that. Stay tuned. I'm not stopping this, I promise, but I'm definitely going to be just diving into something new and diving into something that I've always wanted to, and take this to the next level. Now, finally, after my announcements are done, I can introduce my next guest, my final guest, and that is, in my opinion, the GOAT, Kumail Jessa, better known as KJ. KJ, thank you so much for being here. I've waited for this moment a very long time. And I know we've done an interview, years back, and I know we've done Around the Horn, but this is finally just me and you, a player that I admire so much. And I'm just privileged and honored to be able to do this. And we just never know when we're going to get a chance to do this again. So thank you for taking the time out, and thank you for being here. I know it's way past your bedtime. So thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me, Sal. Appreciate it. I'm a huge fan. I've watched every single episode.
Thank you, man.
I love it, man. Just
Thank you.
keep it going.
Thanks, brother. Let's start. Let's start from the get-go. Tell me about where you're from, and how you were first introduced to the game of volleyball.
Yeah, I'm born in Dar es Salaam,
Mm.
moved to Minnesota when I was 3 years old.
Damn, I'm sorry.
Uh, yeah. No, Minnesota was great. Minnesota was great for our upbringing. It was a great place to grow up. Um, we grew up not liking volleyball, to be honest. In Minnesota, the volleyball practice used to be adults playing volleyball on one side, and the other half of the court is just whatever season of professional sport there is. That's what we're playing.
Right, right.
We'll be playing football, we'll be playing basketball, or then the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh phase and all that
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
Volleyball was always like, that's the adult sport. And
Exactly.
then I don't know what clicked. I think once the multi-purpose center was built in Minnesota, um, they started introducing like, kids practices and that kind of stuff. Shout out to Sip and Rahmatullah. I clearly have clear memories of Sib teaching me how to play net. He taught everyone how
Wow.
to play.
Wow.
He taught everyone. Everyone just lined up, and he just, he teaches the fall like your dad, like fall back
Fall
and
back. Yeah.
one-handed lift,
The old
one-handed lift,
school.
fall back
Old
going, yeah.
school. Yeah.
And him and Nazmul uncle, Nazmul Jaffer.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, he's an OG. Like he's the one of the few guys that's from Dar es Salaam in Minnesota. So they used to teach us on weekends and stuff, afternoon clinics, they used to call it or something like that.
Wow.
And then in Minnesota, you can't start playing until like I think it was 12 or something like that, 11 or
Hmm.
12. You
Hmm.
can't start playing with the adults.
Hmm.
So I remember like my Islamic 12th birthday, I was like, yo, guys, I'm in now, you know?
I'm
And I
Islamically
started off with
12 now. Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then that's where I got my first, touches. And I
It,
used to play front, right, the
wow.
usual start.
That's funny because I don't think people watch Minnesota now, right? And they see like all these kids, and there's like 30 of them, right? Sometimes on one team.
Yeah.
But they don't realize in the back of all that is Sib. He's still there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's still,
Yep.
he doesn't care to play a minute. He's there to help any which way. Sib doesn't get that credit. Sib, I know I've talked about Sib in the past and how much he's meant to the team, but I think this is a perfect time to, you brought him up. He
Of
does so
course.
much for the squad. Like he is that guy. He's the mentor. He's the coach. He's the guy who keeps everyone even keel. And I've talked about Sib because, he's the perfect guy for that because he's a guidance counselor. Like
Yep.
he knows he understands these kids. He gets what gets them going. He understands when they're down. He understands how to get them back up. So Sib, man, I know you don't probably get enough credit, but if you're not, this is why we're talking about you, because you deserve it. You deserve all the credit, man. You've done so
I'm
much for us.
talking. This is 2 decades ago, man. He's been doing it for a minute.
Exactly.
This
Exactly.
is two
So
decades ago. He taught
I
us.
mean, if anybody knows Sibby, he's one of the nicest guys,
100%.
and always has that hat on backwards. But
Yeah.
how
It
did you
has some
fall?
safari, some safari
I
in his
know
mouth.
it's
There's
yeah,
something.
exactly, always. How did you fall in love with the game? And did you have anybody you looked up to? You know, somebody that you wanted to be like or modeled your game after.
Um, so your first question, how did I fall in love with it? It was I don't know, naturally I just fell into the net position and when you're 12, 13 years old and any adult tells you, "Hey, listen, you want to come play volleyball with us?" And it's like, "Yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah.
like of
I'm
course,
in.
yeah, of course, yeah." So in Minnesota, like after mosque on like random Tuesdays or Wednesdays or even Thursdays or something, because it's so convenient to have the gym right behind mosque,
Right, right.
they used to have an invitee practice, and I remember that day like the netties couldn't make it or something,
Yeah, yeah,
and I don't remember who it was who organized practice, but they told my dad like, "Hey, can Hani and Kumail, because Hani used to play net on one side, I used to play net on the other
yeah.
side."
Yep, yep.
And they're like, can they come play netties? So we don't have any netties today. And I think that was our first like bat in, and I was like, oh, like yes, I am in for this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're like, I'm playing with the adults now. And
Exactly.
now you're
You
cool.
made
Now
it.
you're
You
cool.
made it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you made it. Yeah.
exactly. And from that moment on, it was, let's keep rolling. I love this sport. I'm good at it. I'm all right. I'm getting a shot
Exactly.
at it.
Exactly. Exactly.
To answer your second question, I think the coolest cats in volleyball at that time, it's probably Kazim Walji, man. Like at that
Yeah.
time,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Kazim, Muhammad. I mean, they were. Kumail Walji is like we grew up together, best friends like that since that age. So we used to be familiar with Kumail a lot, and I used to go to their house and stuff a lot. But Kazim and Muhammad were like the two brothers that would just like dominate the sport at that time.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and I remember Kazim had his like little antics and stuff. He probably still does.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah, those are the guys like I used to watch him. Like, yeah, how does he put so much power behind the ball and
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. Just those jump shots
Yeah,
and stuff.
Kazim was always an athletic freak, man. Like the
He
guy,
still is, yeah, yeah.
he could play
Any
any
sport,
sport.
any
He
sport.
was misunderstood, I think. If you really got to know Kazim Walji, like he's actually a cool dude, man. Like he was I met him in New York, like when he moved to New York, I was with him a lot and we would go to practice together and he's a cool cat and yeah, dude, he was amazing. He was like again jumping and he was doing those things right whilst growing up. You're probably watching guys like Amu, right, who was a little bit more old school, right? Amu
Yeah,
Kimji,
yeah,
and then Kazim Walji is the new age of guys where they're
yeah,
jumping, they're athletic. And again, don't sleep on Amu, man. A lot of guys sleep on Amir Kimji, but Amu was the OG of Minnesota. Like he
yes, he
was
still is.
he still is the
He
OG,
still is.
but you know what? Like people sleep on him because he's like the same way as Sibi, man. He does everything for the kids. He does everything to make them better.
Yeah,
And
yep,
Amu is so synonymous with Minnesota because he was their back center. He was their guy. Like for
right,
so long when they were not on the map, both
right.
literally and figuratively, they
Yeah,
were he was the man. And so for him, it's like he is. I'm just kidding, Minnesota people. Like I'm just messing with you guys. I love Minnesota. I just have to say that, but I love
you
Minnesota.
have to. Yeah, you have no choice.
I have no choice. But no. In all honesty, man, Amu, like for me, also growing up, I used to look at Amu and be like, dude, like that guy's the man. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the guy. So a lot of
So,
people
side
don't.
story, just real quick. Amu was so in love with volleyball since back then.
Mm-hmm,
Amu lived, this is a side note story. Amu used to live like 30, 40 minutes away from town, like from
mm-hmm.
where everything used to happen, mosque and everything.
Okay, okay.
Every single Friday, I used to wear the same exact outfit to school because I was so excited about volleyball at night. And
Right.
every single Friday, Amu used to come home for dinner, and then me and Amu would go so early for volleyball because he was such a
Fiend.
like
Yeah.
yeah crazy for volleyball. He
Yeah.
still is,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
FOMO for volleyball,
Yeah.
and he used to go so early, and I'm like, yo, can I go with Amu? And my mom always just let me go with Amu.
No,
So
that's the
me and Amu
best.
would like jam out all the way to volleyball. I was
Oh,
like,
that's
yo,
the
I'm
best.
walking in with Amu, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
what's
walking
up?
with the guy, the
Yeah,
dawn of
yeah,
Minnesota, right? Like
yeah,
that's no, Amu man, a lot of love for you, man. Like, again, I
yeah,
tried to make sure that people don't forget Amu laid the foundation down for Minnesota volleyball.
definitely.
Him, one of many, but he did, and he deserves that credit. When do you move to Orlando? And when you do move to Orlando, did you start playing volleyball right away?
Yeah, so moved to Orlando right after I started playing. Maybe 2 years, not even 2 years, maybe a year and a half or 2 years
Mhm.
after like starting playing with the adults. After we got our first leg in at 12 straight, in like 9 months later, we moved to Orlando.
Okay.
And by this point, the love of the game's already there. You know, all I want to do is like, there's nothing else that goes through my mind besides like, go to mosque and play volleyball, go to mosque and play. Because you also have to like realize that there's a lot more to volleyball than just volleyball, especially for us kids. We play football, we play basketball, we play all that stuff. So I got a bit of everything when we first moved. We used to play at the warehouse, just an empty warehouse in Siemens right here in Sanford.
Yes.
That, and there used to be outdoor courts. Sorry, Siemens was the outdoor courts. The warehouse was right here in Sanford, but Siemens was outdoor clay courts, and
Wow.
3 courts every Friday night. Like I think Azimonko was cooking inside the clubhouse. There was darts going on. It was just a
That's
vibe.
awesome. That's
It was a
awesome.
vibe. Yeah, you cannot live in Florida and not go to volleyball on Friday nights. Like everyone
Exactly.
came.
Exactly. When does your start at Caber happen? Well, how does that come into fruition?
Yeah, so I was I want to say 14, 14 or 15, maybe 14 when Caber first started. And the all the Caber guys basically used to get together across the street from where I used to live at the time.
Okay.
The townhouse you remember the townhouse.
Yeah.
The townhouse I lived at, Samir Chandu used to live across the street.
Yes.
And Samir Chandu was my boy. Like he took me to every sport possible, right?
Right.
I was big time into soccer at the time. He got me like gear and stuff just for us to be able to play, just to, promote the kids come to play. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. And that was my way to get to volleyball, because my dad stopped playing the second we moved to Florida. He's never played in Florida.
Right.
So my dad never used to go to volleyball for me to be able to go to volleyball. So my only way to actually play the sport at the time was, Samir's car, or Hasnain Didani used to live in that house as well.
I do know.
Hasnain Didani was my boy, man. Like that guy legitimately took care of us, man.
He's the man, bro. He's the
He was
man.
the man. He was a don, bro. Just a
Him,
monster.
yeah, seriously. And I never got to be with him too much, but we had a boss Dino in
Yes.
New York, and he was the man. Like they were both
Swag.
just so cool, man. Like they were the coolest guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so Samir Chandu, a part of creating Kaber,
Yeah.
you
So
then
Samir Chandler used to take me to soccer. That was
Okay.
my soccer plug right there. And then Dino used to take me to every single practice. And that was my volleyball plug. And at the time, Caber, when they first started, a bunch of young guys, just a bunch of college kids or of high school kids and stuff. And I think I was starting freshman year, or maybe eighth grade or something like that. And they didn't have netties. And at the time, I was a netty. At the time, even when we first moved to Florida, we were playing all in one club and under Union.
Yeah.
Me, Hani, Ali Akbar, Irfan, Bimji's.
Yes.
We were all netties at the same time. And when Caber started, they're like, yo, I was like, yo, if I can play volleyball, I'm down. And
Exactly.
that was my plug. Dino was my plug. So he used to take me to practice every week.
So obviously a lot of people know that you end up in Union, and at some point, you're part of the run that Union makes. No one knows how.
Yeah.
What happens that makes you jump over to Union? Like, what could have taken place that made that jump happen? Was it just your friends just
I feel like a lot had to do with fate. The way things just aligned. And yes, my brother Hilal had a lot to do with it. Yes, Haji had a lot to do with it. Yes, Arfli had a lot to do with it. However, the things leading up to that, a lot of people don't realize what caused us to be that close to them in the first place.
Right.
So a little known fact, I failed chemistry. I failed chemistry in school. Yeah, I failed my freshman year, and I had to take summer school.
Okay.
To get that credit. And
right.
I took summer school, and first day of summer school, like now, mind you, the boys that got me into Union in the first place, I despised of these boys, because every day we would get to school and it's just like, I can't stand you guys, like I don't want to, I don't like you guys.
Exactly.
So now summer school starts, and I'm just chilling, by myself in summer school, and lo and behold, Haji shows up because Haji in the same wavelength.
Haji,
Probably
yeah.
failed. Probably failed another class, and he's
Yeah,
like, "Yo,
exactly.
let's
Haji,
go too."
summer school is real school for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Ali Haji shows up, and the first day of class, Haji's always been like that. He's like, "Yo, what's up, man?" He's cool with everyone. He's like, "Yo, do you have a ride home?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Yo, I'll drop you." I'm like,
Oh,
"Down,
oh,
sounds good."
okay.
I told my dad, I'm like, "Yo, Haji guys me." I'm like, "All right, perfect." That summer turned into like volleyball every single day,
Right.
like every single day, and that's where my in was
Hmm.
with the quote unquote union boys at the time, and the union boys
Right.
was only four people, three people,
Exactly. Exactly.
That being Hilal, Ali Haji, and Arfli at the time.
Yeah.
And that summer turned into a full out volleyball summer. And by the end of the summer, I was so close with these guys that I was like, yo, I want to come play with you guys. Because
Right.
mind you,
Right.
in Tabor, everyone was a lot older than us.
Exactly.
A lot
Exactly.
older.
These are
Yeah.
your
We were
boys,
all
right? Like you guys are getting
these are my
close
boys.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that leads up to the final break, and one day we're at a pool hall. I don't know why we were playing pool so much at that time. It had nothing to
Yeah.
do
We
with
all were. Yeah.
yeah. So we were playing pool at this pool hall, and it was me and Hani versus Haji and Hello.
Hmm.
And we were just playing, and let's raise the stakes.
Hmm.
Let's raise the stakes. So we made a deal, and we said, I don't even know who came up with it. I'm pretty sure Hani came up with it, but Hilal is the type to come up with something like this.
Hilal
But
would probably. Yeah. Hilal probably came up with it.
but
Yeah.
he wouldn't put that much on the line unless he was super confident. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
let's
True.
talk about the
True.
bet.
True.
So it was me and Hani versus Hilal and Haji,
Hmm.
and whoever made up the bet, I don't know. They said if me and Hani win, Hilal and Haji immediately call whoever it is to call and say that you guys are in Caper now.
Right.
And if me and Hani lose, we call whoever we call and we say we're in Union.
Right.
And we were demolishing them. We only had the eight ball left. We put in the eight ball. But lo and behold, like now this is what I'm talking about fate. We
Hmm.
won the game for 2 seconds because it took 2 seconds for that white ball to
Oh
rebound and roll in.
no! He
That's game one.
scratched.
That's game one. Same exact thing happened game two.
Oh no! It's meant to be. It's meant to
It's
be.
meant to be. It's meant to
It's
be.
meant to be. So,
And fast forward a year and now, we're in Union. Not even a
so,
year.
so you lose a pool game to Hilal and Haji. You end up in Union. Hilal never makes a bet he can't win. We've learned that in the many years of friendship that we've had with him. At the same time, he'll probably tell you tomorrow that Hani made that bet, but it was probably him, and he
Yeah, that's
concocted
probably
some
it.
sort of story to make it seem like Hani, and Hani probably believes it was him. At this point, you end up in Union. What's the reaction when you leave? Who do you tell? Is it Dino? Do you tell Dino, hey man, I'm leaving. Don't pick me up no more. I'm good. Haji's picking me up. Like I don't need a ride.
So if anyone knows me, I'm very anti like confrontation.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
good with
yeah.
that.
We know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't tell anyone. We didn't tell anyone. I think Ramzan was right around the corner,
Okay.
and we, as the nice people we are, we signed up for both Ramadan tournaments because they had come up with a solution that Ramadan tournament for Kebra is on a certain day and Ramadan tournament
Yes.
for Union.
Yes.
We
Yes.
signed up for both, and somehow, some way, it got back to the Caber OGs that hey, listen, these two are no longer playing
Right. Right.
for Caber, and the only guy who came to my rescue on that night that they found out was Dino, man. Dino was like, yo,
Yeah.
listen, bro, the guy's 15 years old, man.
Let him
Let
do
him
what he
do what he
wants.
wants. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna do what he wants.
Yeah.
So, my guardian angel, Dino, bro.
When you go to Union, where do you end up starting off? Are you in the net? And when you figure out your position, how did you find your footing? Like, how did you find the spot for
Yeah.
you?
Um, no, so that summer that we played, I don't. I mean, we used to rotate in net and stuff, but it
Okay.
wasn't really like I wasn't playing net the whole time. But
Hmm.
then when we moved to Union, I mean, shout out to Irfan and Ali Akbar. They were vastly better than us.
Yeah, they're
At
they're
net.
yeah out of this
Yeah,
world.
they were made for netties, man, and they were better than us. So I didn't have a spot in it, so I had to figure out my way out, just to see where I can fit in. And like I said, there weren't that many of us young guys in Union at the time,
Hmm.
so we kind of, I'm not gonna say we got to choose, but we had positions locked in because
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know Riaz Uncle and Kenny and there
Hmm.
was Monica and Sajad
Yeah,
Kingi
yeah,
at the time.
yeah.
Those guys aren't gonna play. They're not gonna play, net or any of that stuff, or
Exactly,
they'll
exactly,
play
exactly.
plugged in on the sides.
I think a lot of us, we were lucky enough, I think, to have the ability to start on a team that was kind of like fresh because like we kind of just got to fill a spot, found a spot, and then
Sure.
you're able to learn
Yeah.
and make those mistakes because the team doesn't have any aspirations.
Yes.
Now I feel like it's much tougher because you're any team you join, they're mostly powerhouses. So like
Right.
you're gonna have to fight for years to probably and work your way up from CBA.
Barrier to entry is huge now.
Huge. I've
Huge.
It's crazy. I'm 33 years old. I've been playing since 16. So I've been playing for more than half my life. And I have
Mm.
never played for a B team. Never.
Yeah.
And it's like I will eventually, I'm sure, probably very
You've
soon.
never played for a B team ever?
Never.
Really? I've played for a B team
Yeah. So I've never
once.
played for a B team, which just shows that I played for a team that was rebuilding. So yeah, like they had to put me somewhere. I
Right.
figured it out, and then I eventually just found my way in the back center. But we are lucky in a way, but it also was tough because it's not like, hey man, when we got those spots, we were winning. We still had
Right.
we still had to earn it, and it took a
Yeah.
while. I mean, for some,
Yeah.
it 17 years, right? So it's not like it was easy or given to us, but yeah, no, it was definitely tough. But I think that now it's a lot more tougher to kind of like be like, hey man, there's a hole in the back center. I'm gonna be the next back center. No, that's not how it works, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
you start off and then you're with Union. Where do you find yourself eventually fitting into the front right? Like, how does that happen?
Yo, that's another like fate. So I think it was 2000. No, that happened. So we go to multiple tournaments, right? We 2007
Mm-hmm.
we play in as a on the B team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think actually it happened before that. There was a random practice, and I was like, everyone said that I was the front center of the team, and I
Right.
think Hilal was the front left or front or back left or something, or no,
Yeah.
front right.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened mid game of one random practice. We switched,
Mm-hmm.
and it just clicked, and it just
Right.
like, yo, this is it, you know?
That's it. That's it.
And the rest is history. Like the rest was just like, all right, this is the going format now. This is the
That's
lineup.
that's crazy. Um, well, let's talk about your first real tournament where you find success. Okay,
Sure.
we're gonna go back home to Minnesota. Back home,
Right.
Minnesota boy comes back home and reaches the finals in 2011. You reach the finals against Minnesota. At that time, Imran Walji, Kamil Ruwala, Ahmed Ruwala, like the OGs of Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Kazim Muhammad, they're the guys that are there.
Yeah.
And you're getting your chance to come up there, right? Yusuf Juma, I think, believes he starts in the front left. Then Imran Juraj comes in because Josef gets hurt in our semifinal match. That's four and a
Yep.
half hours long, and
Yeah.
ambulances are called, and
Yeah.
the Wahda and
Drama.
stuff is recited in the middle of the court. Like it was anything that could happen happened in that semifinal. But you guys come through. It was the best of three. We get to the third game. You guys beat us, go to the finals, and now you're home. And this is like your first taste of a final home. Um, what was that entire run like for you? Because you're fresh, you're young, you really don't know what's like happening. Because I believe in 2010 was the Queen's
Hmm.
College tournament. You weren't there,
Yeah.
and Haji is playing front right or something. So it's like, wow,
Yeah.
it's a whole new look with Imran Jarraj and KJ, and it's almost like fate, right? Like you said, it's meant to be that you guys are there, and now you guys are there. And you
Right.
make a crazy run. What was that run like? Like, were you like, oh, okay, we're good?
Yeah. I mean, so leading up to that, we had a United Stars tournament in 2008, if you remember.
Oh
Faisabanji was
yeah,
there.
yes,
I
yes,
think United Stars and Jaffrey's or Faisabanji made it. I don't know, something like
yes.
that.
Faisal and Stars
So
was in the finals. Yes,
yeah, that's the team that Ryazanko took us to. Just us
yes,
kids,
yes. And JJ,
Ryazanko,
yeah,
Dogo, and JJ. Yeah,
yeah.
Wheezy was there as well.
Mm.
So that tournament we went to, we lost every single game. I think we had to give a bye. I remember during the the game show, what was it called? Around the Horn,
Around the horn,
when they were
yeah.
talking about like the Irfan talked about how like they lost every single game. by double digits. Now they have to go. Yeah, we gave them a bye because we were scared about losing against them. Like that's how bad we were.
Right.
And we had a shot at the Arcades tournament, right? The Cinderella team.
Yes, you did.
So 2010 was Queens College. Later 2010 was the Arcades tournament that Nadim joined us.
Yes.
That's the first tournament that we went that I especially realized that, hey, listen, like maybe we're okay players. Like maybe we can hang with, because we played Reblo and CD and Face of
Right.
Vanji,
Right.
Jaffrey's, Muna, like we played these guys, and that tournament I was like, and I think we made to semis that
Yeah, you
tournament,
got to
the
semis. Yeah.
five. And after that tournament, I was like, if we can hang, maybe we have some game. Maybe we can actually do some damage in a tournament. So I'm not saying we went into Minnesota thinking that we're gonna win. Absolutely not. We hadn't even
Mhm.
gotten a lick of it. But starting Minnesota, it's a blur to me, to be honest, all the way up to that semis.
Yeah,
Uh,
the 2010, if anybody watched the Arfley JJ interview, we go through that in detail. But if anybody hasn't, f- something happens with the Orlando team. They only got 5 players. Nadim joins them. They make a team, makes them 6, Wheezy in net.
no,
Uh,
man, yeah, with Weezy in that, yeah,
with Weezy
6.
in net, and then 5 out of Hilal front center, Yusuf Juma front left, KJ front right, Arfley back right, and then Nadim back left. And they do pretty well, right? Have a great time. I think you almost beat Faisal, right? And then
Yeah,
Arfley puts
yeah,
third ball in net at the end, right?
yeah.
Um,
Never
uh,
forgive him for that.
yeah,
Never
I
forgive him.
know. I mean, just it was wow, like almost had him. But you guys played amazing. Arfley had, I think, his come out tournament too. A lot of people were like showcasing their
Yes.
talents, and then you guys end up meeting Reblo and East in the with CD, I believe, in the quarters. We wake up late for that. We rush there. I'm your personal driver because New York Union was eliminated 24 hours before that, and 3 games in, we were eliminated. I think we lost to Lovely or something. There's a great story about that too, where just Shani Abbas is crying afterwards, and Mikey tells him to go drink some water at the fountain. I can never forget that story, man. We lose Lovely to these guys, right? They're like 16 years old. They're 5 players, and our team is just ragtag, man. Just like Ali D, J. I think Musti serves a ball in that game, and Taha's, doing the wall, and Musti
And he
hits
hit
Taha's
it.
hand. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Yeah.
Imran Shuji is the main net. Shani Abbas and Saif were alternating on the side net. Shani Abbas ends up being that was the game that he played side net. The last point is us putting the ball in net there, just trying to survive and get a point, and he mislifts it like right there, like he tiplas it because I guess he was so nervous. He was like 12, man.
Yeah.
And after the game, Mikey's just like ripping me and like a new one, and and Shane comes like from the corner, like just me and Mike, and Shane just comes from the corner. He's like, "What the hell, man? We lost." And I'm just like, "Yeah, dude, it's okay, man. You're young. Like, it's okay." He was really young. He was like 11, 12 years old. And imagine an 11 and 12-year-old losing Lovely and hearing Musti and all these guys getting pissed.
Yeah.
And Shane is like, I'm like, "Yo, Shane, it's okay." Mikey's like, "Don't worry, don't worry." Mikey is Shane's uncle, so he's like, "Yo, don't worry, man. It's gonna be all right." And Shane's like, "Okay, okay." And then all of a sudden he looks down and starts crying. Yo, why you crying? I'm like, "Yo, Shane, don't worry." I'm like patting him on his back, and Mikey's like, yo, go drink some water. So Shane turns around, okay? He starts walking the hallway looking for water. He can't find water. And Mikey's like, "Yo, the fountain's over there, bro. Come on, go drink some water. Shake yourself off." I'm like, "Mike, he's 11, bro. Leave him alone."
Uh,
That was the tough love that Mike gave us that we loved and obviously made us so much better. But anyways, that's that same tournament. You come late.
yeah.
You have to give a bye the first game. You end up beating Reblo and East and CD 2 straight after that to make it into the semifinal. You're right. That probably gave you belief, right? Like, yo, we can
It
do this.
did, yeah. It definitely did. It definitely did. It gave us some, some josh. Like we're like, yo, we can hang with these guys. These guys are legends we're playing against.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
even took a game off Jaffrey's that tournament too. I think it was round robin, 2 games each,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we took
yeah,
a
yeah.
game off Jaffrey's that tournament. It was that
Yeah,
that
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 was
definitely gave us some steam.
that was
Yeah.
it.
But
Um,
again, going into Minnesota, we didn't. I don't remember having any overconfidence.
right, right.
I think we got to the semis pretty easily. I don't remember ever struggling. or
No,
losing
no,
any
yeah,
game.
no. I think we all got to the semis pretty easily. Like I think we played Orlando B. That time was Riyad's uncle, and we beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that was
Yes.
good. I Shane Abbas will deny that story forever. I'm just letting you all know. He's probably gonna call me after this when this releases and he's gonna tell me, "Sal, man, that never happened. It happened. He was just 11 and he doesn't remember it.
So funny, man. That's so funny.
But it happened. Anyways, 2012.
Yeah.
2012 is special because it is the beginning of the run of the dynasty, right? Like hometown tournament, it just seemed right. Everything seemed right. The front line is finally becoming that, like it's starting to be that. Imran Javad is now
Right.
full time playing. Chiku joins you. At that time, he had just moved. JJ is finally having a team around him that comes into his own, people that are close to his age. And then you
Yeah.
got Josef and you got Arif Ali coming into his own after the last tournament. And you end up meeting, you do well, obviously, but you end up meeting Jaffrey's in the semis. Not an ideal opponent because you probably want to meet them in the finals, but you end up
Definitely.
meeting the top dogs in volleyball, right? Just the
Right.
guys who dominated the 2000s. You meet them in the semis. What percentage of you at that moment, number one, was nervous, and number two, thought you could win that?
So, I mean, going into that tournament, these guys, it was the first tournament that Hilal and JJ, like, I think JJ had organized one prior to, but there was a lot of help. But it was the first time that Hilal and JJ actually, like, took it on headstrong. Like, they organized the entire tournament. I
Yeah,
remember our pre-tournament meeting, they're like, guys, we ain't winning this. There's no
yeah,
shot we're winning. We are
yeah,
so tired. We can't keep our eyes open.
yeah.
Like,
It's tough
we're
to
so
host and win. Yeah,
because there was ladies tournament at the same like
yeah,
right
yeah.
across the school, and so they gave us that disclaimer, and next thing you know we're playing. The biggest struggle we had was against the New York B team.
Yeah. Wow.
So but we
What a
beat Jaffrey's
game.
that we beat Stars that tournament, we beat RK's that tournament. We didn't lose, we just didn't lose, and it didn't seem like it was a struggle all of a sudden. It's like, hey, like again, maybe we're good. We didn't know what good meant.
Exactly.
Didn't know what good meant. So we're like, maybe we got this. Maybe we're good. So and also there was no such thing like that. That seed or Jaffrey's Day Two is a complete different team.
Yes.
And now we
Yes.
can even say that to Stars. Like Stars Day Two is a complete different team.
Completely different.
All the top dog teams now are like, yo, the second, and now it's Day Three, I guess.
That's
But
day three. Yeah.
these are all different teams on the when it counts, when it's
Exactly.
knockout. So
Exactly.
that didn't exist in my mind,
Yeah.
at least for me particularly. Imran was just busy eating Doritos like the whole
Yeah.
time. There was no emotion. He nothing phased him.
Imran, man.
Uh,
Yeah.
Getting into the semis, I don't remember being nervous,
Mm-hmm.
but when I saw the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time I'm seeing like familiar faces. In Minnesota, it was a huge crowd too the prior year, but now I'm seeing like our hometown crowd just like riling behind
I
us, and I
don't
was
think the
like, wow,
crowd's ever been that good.
yeah,
Like after that, well, that was the peak of that crowd.
yeah,
It's
I
like they
think so too. It
wanted it. They
was,
wanted it so much.
yeah, definitely, definitely, and and
Like it
and and
was
the,
crazy.
the gym catered to that crowd. You know what I mean? Like the gym held like the
Yes.
bleachers was like 20
Dude,
rows
you got
up.
guys at the top of the bleachers just swinging on
Yes,
jerseys like Orlando. Like it was
yeah,
just like a party in there. Like it
yep,
was,
yep.
it was
That's
crazy.
when it. That's when it. I was like, yo, we need to win this. Like we don't have a choice. Like we
Yeah.
have to win. We cannot not be in the finals. We just
Yeah.
can't. And a lot of people think that was the finals because the finals video was never
People don't remember.
released.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
recall that was the
Yeah.
semis, and then the finals almost was a letdown, right? Because Stars was also relatively new at the time, right? Because he had
Of
just,
course, yeah.
I think Thurab had just gone back to Stars, and so it was a very newish look for a
Right.
lot of teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was special. That was definitely
Yeah.
special. If anybody doesn't know the New York Union B story, I won't go into too much detail, but what I will tell you is I'm going to leave it for interpretation, and you guys tell me because me and KJ debate this all the time. Last rally, New York Union has a serve, 7 seconds left or something. Rally starts. Obviously, rally goes on for like 30 seconds. Ball comes onto the court.
Outside ball. An
Outside.
outside ball. Yeah.
Outside ball comes onto the court. Siraj Mehdi, OG Siraj Mehdi is the ref. Okay. He calls, stops the play, and says, hey, ball on the court, replay the rally. And we go, no, there's zeros on the clock. And he says,
Let's
no.
not get to zeros on the clock, bro.
But hey, if it went one way one time, it should have gone one way that time.
Yeah.
But listen, everyone has their own opinion. We won't go into detail, but you lost
Yeah, yeah.
piece, so whatever. I'm just kidding. The when you win that championship, I mean, the lasting image in my mind, because I was a jealous, envious young kid watching my boys win a trophy at
Yeah.
home, felt like, wow, that sucks, but that feels really good because I was happy for you guys. Hilal getting, lifted, and it was just
Yeah.
amazing, right? What was that time like? You win the MVP. You and Imran win the MVP. What was
Yeah.
that like? Like surreal?
It was definitely surreal. Like I never knew that the simple ball over the net can make me so happy. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like we're just so excited to be in that position that the entire crowd, like my dad was there, my
Yeah,
mom was there, like everyone, my wife was there, but we were married obviously, but like my wife was there, like everybody was there.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I that was the first time I was like, you know what, I'm never leaving this sport like ever. This
That's almost more than a decade ago now.
Yes, yeah, 12 years, yeah.
Still remember it like yesterday? Like, do you still feel it?
I remember, the scene that will never forget is JJ was our back center, right?
Mm-hmm.
JJ was our back center,
Yeah.
and I think the score was like 8-2 or something in the finals
Mm-hmm.
against Stars,
Mm-hmm.
and it was already in the back, like there was like five
Yeah,
seconds
yeah,
left on
yeah,
the clock.
yeah,
And we're
yeah.
celebrating, there was vuvuzelas in the crowd,
Mm.
like you
That's
could
when
just
that
keep on.
started. That's when that
Yep,
started.
yep. You can keep hearing like, and it was like, and I remember turning around and looking at JJ, and we locked eyes, and we both realized that yo, we just won.
We just
Like
won.
we're about to win this tournament, and mind you, like it's just a ball over the net. You know what I mean?
I
But
know.
it made
I know.
us
I know.
so happy in
I
that
know,
moment.
man. It's not. You work hard
Tournament
for
was
it.
there.
Yeah, you
Like
work
yeah,
hard for it.
it was
What do you ever go back and watch the game?
the
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 finals,
semifinals.
not the semis.
I don't have a video of the finals.
It wasn't recorded.
I don't know.
Oh, never mind.
There's
Uh
a clip. There's a clip. Shout out to Ali Abbas. Ali Abbas posted this clip where we
yes.
actually won.
Yes,
It's the
yes.
last like 3 minutes
Yes, yes,
or
yes, yes,
something.
yes,
So we're on
yes.
top of the stands. I
Yes.
have watched that, but it's very there's like a lot of celebration
Do you,
going
do you
on
ever
and
do you
stuff.
ever go watch the semifinals again?
I did for a long time, and then when I started, maybe the last time I watched it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. The
Wow.
reason being is that it's not like I don't appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So
It was
you've won
the
so
first.
much now that you just don't
No,
even.
no, 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 no. The game has changed so much
Yeah, you're right.
that it's almost
It's
you're
almost
watching
boring.
volleyball in slow motion. You're
Yeah, it's
watching in
almost
slow motion.
boring. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You're
yeah, I
watching in
feel
slow
you.
motion. You know?
Um, Directly after that, obviously a lot of hype around Orlando. Orlando's the new kids on the block, the hottest thing going. Everyone's
Yeah.
talking about the front line. Everyone's talking about the change in the game. Game's getting faster. Obviously the front line was a big part of that. Like everyone's, magnifying this. Like these are the kids that took down Jaffrey's. Finally, the kids that
Hmm.
took down Jaffrey's. And you come into New York, Jaffrey's stomping ground, right? Like the expectation is there's going to be some sort of rematch. There's going to be something that happens,
Hmm.
but little did you know there was a man on the other side that had revenge on his mind, and there was an immediate letdown. The
Yeah.
quarterfinals, you meet us in the quarters, and you lose,
Yes.
and I think it was 3 games if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall.
I
Um,
highly doubt it, to be honest, but
Yeah,
sure. I
I
don't
don't
remember.
recall. I don't recall. But what was that like taking that L so quick early in the playoffs? Like
Yeah.
you probably in the back of your mind, you win, especially as a young guy. You win. You're like, dude, I'll get back there again. This team's so good.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you don't in the biggest stage of them all, which was New York, right? New York and
Yeah.
Orlando, probably the two biggest tournaments. What was that like?
Humbling. It was definitely humbling. I'll be honest, going into that tournament, I had that chip on my shoulder. I was like, We're
Yeah.
champs now, bro. You
Yeah.
know, we've
Yeah.
we've won it. We've won. We've beaten all these teams that are here right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely went in with a bit of arrogance into that tournament, and we were humbled pretty quick. We realized pretty quick that hey, like we can't just do the same thing again and again and again, thinking that
Yes.
oh
Yes. Funny enough, I think that 2013, um, you guys also come to Al Wahda, and
yes,
you I want to say you lose to Arcades in the semis. Is that correct?
yes. So we came to Al, and that was the first time we actually played.
The V.
Mhm.
Yes.
Where Hilal and JJ both took wings. I
No,
I
Hilal,
think
Arfley,
Maz.
and JJ. Arfley and JJ took
Sorry,
wings.
I think JJ took the wings and Hilal played front center. I think Maz was there, right?
I want to say it was, I don't recall. MZ?
MZ played front left instead of Imran because Imran didn't come to that tournament.
Yes. Okay, so MZ was there. I know that. I think it was Maz. Yeah, it must have been Maz.
It had
Makes
to
sense.
be Maz, yeah.
It had to
It
have
had
been
to have
Maz.
been Maz. So yeah, I
Um,
mean, that was the first time that we did that change, and I think we were talented enough to get to the semis. Um, but I don't know, there was definitely something missing. So maybe it was just the first time we're using this format, you know.
I also think that in both cases, 2013, in both tournaments, Imran was a key factor, right? Imran wasn't really playing
Yes.
in New York.
Yes, he had moved to Miami at the time.
Exactly.
Yep.
I think you bring him in second game
Yeah,
because you're like, okay, now shit's hitting the fan,
right,
and you still lost, but that it doesn't matter. Like you had to bring him in at the time, and then
right,
in 2013, you in the arcade tournament, he wasn't there. So I mean, it wasn't like your full team was there. So it's different, right? Like it's like
right.
that's the team you won with.
Yeah.
2014 though, Marhaba Cup happens, and Marhaba in
Yes.
Allentown. Um, it's funny because when I speak to a lot of you guys, and I try to gauge what tournament was your favorite, Marhaba comes up a lot, like in a lot of
Yes.
people's minds, because Marhaba was a very difficult tournament to navigate through. Allentown United happens, Jaffrey's coming back with vengeance, Stars winning back-to-back tournaments. They win RKs, they win Al Wahda, both in 2013. Durab
Yes.
and Stars beat Faisal. Okay. Then
Right.
they beat Shanu
Arcades.
after Shanu was, yeah, like
Cracked out Shanu.
cracked out Shanu, right? Super
Yep.
steroided up, like Super Saiyan status, and they they beat him, and it's like, dude, there's a lot of good teams. So now you're
Yeah.
worried about Arcades because you played Arcades and they just took you out last tournament. You're worried about
Mhm.
Stars because Stars had just won back to back. You're worried about Jaffrey's because you're always worried about Jaffrey's, and then you're worried about these random teams that are coming from the outside, like Allentown United. At that time, they decided, maybe this will work, and Sammy, Banji, Sumar at that time, wow, right?
Yeah.
And you guys come in and now it's another tournament with the V. So you've sort of slowly perfected it, but the draw you get isn't so favorable. You end up playing um, the entirety of Toronto in the
Right.
quarter semis finals.
I don't remember. I think it was we were tied for first with Joffrey's.
Yes. Then
We
you
had
had
to
to
play
play
a
a game.
tiebreaker,
Yep.
and they beat us in that tiebreaker.
Yes.
Because of that, we had to play Stars and then RK's
Yes.
the semis, and then Joffrey's in the
Jaffrey's in the
finals. Yeah.
finals. Funny
Yep.
enough, for you to be the first seed, you had to beat us two straight. And we needed to beat you guys two straight to make it into the playoff. So you
Mm,
guys could afford to drop. Didn't really affect you, and after it all, it didn't really affect you because you lost to Jaffrey's anyways,
right.
which
We ended
sucks
up two
because
seed
it was like,
anyway.
damn, they could have just given us the bye or something.
We could
But we
have.
end up playing a 1-1 game, 1-1 at that
hmm
time, 1-1, and you guys win 1-1. Like it's crazy. I don't know how that happens, but you guys win 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the second game, obviously, you guys take. We move on. You guys get into that qualifier tiebreaker game. You play the tiebreaker, and the infamous timeout there where Mehboob Gigi goes, "There's too much time." Like
Right.
I think Muna or Hasni goes to him, and he's like a minute and a half down 4, and he's like, "Too much time," right? Like you're like,
Yeah.
"What, bro? A minute and a
Yeah.
half? Like that's not enough time." And
Right.
they come back and win. Anyways, next morning you play Stars, and right off the bat, first game you take an L.
Yeah. Not only an L, bro.
It was a bad L.
It was a beating.
It was a
It was a
game one,
beat.
game two type L, you
I
know?
think it was a game. I think it was game one.
Yeah, it was a bad L and
We just didn't get
almost
catch our bearings. Yeah.
you look like, okay, this is not gonna work, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
something clicks, you
Yeah.
beat Stars, you play RKs, and now you're getting your revenge on RKs. You beat RKs, and then
That goes to three as well.
that goes to three. Then you end up in the finals. That goes to three.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's at that time Kizer's coming up. Now Kizer's doing his jump
Yep.
shot thing, and it's just like mayhem.
Yeah.
Like you guys worked so hard for that championship. That's why I feel like a lot of people are like, that they hold that close to their heart because you
Right.
worked really hard. Talk to me about that championship. Talk to me about winning that, and then talk to me about that final point where Kizer hits that ball out. How nervous were you about that? Like, it was
Yeah.
do or die.
Yeah. No, the fact that we had the road that we took to get there was
Mhm.
completely self-inflicted, obviously.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, completely self. We should have just won that tiebreaker game and called it a day, and
Mhm.
breezed our way to the finals. But we took the hard road, and the fact that we got through those two tough teams, we got through Stars, we got through RKs, um, and got made it to the finals. I mean, our timeout was just like, guys, like we can't stop here. There's no
Yeah,
stopping it.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the first game we won, second game we took kind of a beating, which is
Mhm.
so normal with them. It's
Yes,
so normal. They look at you, they read you, they do this, they do that, and they're like, all right, yo, we'll take care of it. Boom, beat us. And
exactly,
now we have to go back and see, okay, where did we go wrong, kind of thing.
exactly.
And the game plan was formulated by our captain, by Hilal,
Mhm.
and we just stuck to that game plan that
Mhm.
entire third game. And I don't know, I once you're in the finals, everything becomes muted in my head.
Agree,
Like everything is just like there's nothing going on around me anymore. Now
agree.
I'm just focused on this game. I'll scream my brains out, try
Mhm.
and get this dub.
Mhm.
And those pressure points, they don't act as pressure points. If you tell me right now to go watch that, my heart is pounding watching it.
Racing,
Even though I
racing.
know the outcome. I already know the
Yes,
outcome.
yes,
But
yes.
my heart is pounding because like how did I live through that
It's
moment,
crazy. It's crazy. It's
But
crazy.
I don't remember feeling that much pressure to be very honest, man. It was just weird. It
It's
was
that's
weird.
yeah. That's the heart of a champ, right? Like you got to
Yeah,
be cold blooded almost in that time.
yeah,
You win that, and almost now everyone's like, okay, this is it. Hilal wins MVP that tournament. It was his tournament, and it was like, oh my god, like this is now officially the team. Now, don't get me wrong, 2012 to 2014, a lot of bad L's, right? So
yes.
to come out of that and triumph is great. But you would think, okay, now you're going to win another one and another one, another one. But again, after the win, huge
Hmm.
letdown. And it's 2015 New York. The finals against Jaffrey's. You're up both games, and you take that L. And now the rivalry is starting because you
Mm.
played them in the semifinal in 2012. You played them in the final in Marabad. They play like everyone's one upping each other now, right?
Right. Yeah.
2015 New York. Did you feel like, man, that was one that got away?
That I think besides we'll probably talk about it later, but besides our recent failures in the finals against them,
Hmm.
I think that one hurts the most because we had it.
Yeah, both
We
games.
had it.
That was
We
it.
had it. And that was the finals. Like the other ones that we've lost against them was semifinals and whatnot. But
Exactly. Exactly.
that was the finals.
That was it.
That was it. That was we were in New York,
Yeah.
entire crowd watching. We're in the Mecca,
Yeah.
as you say it.
Yeah. You
And
solidify
we're
it
up
now, right? You
against
win back to back. You solidify it. You win
yeah,
one. See, winning away is the toughest part. You did that in Ellendale,
exactly.
right?
Yep.
Now you come and do it in New York, like, dude, like you're the next
Yeah.
Jaffries at that point because Jaffries
Mm-hmm.
could win everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that 2015 RKs, you lose in the quarterfinals against Minnesota.
Yes.
And that team had Altaz on it, a young Matham, Imran Walji played lights out.
Yes.
What was that like? I mean, it's almost like you guys never used to come to arcade tournaments. You show up to
Right.
this one, right? You play really well. I think you beat Faisal in the round robin in that tournament, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. And then you end
Yep.
up playing Minnesota, thinking, yeah, this is a great matchup for us. And it
Right.
just doesn't pan out. And it's like, what? Like, how? How does that happen? Like another letdown back to back right after winning a an insane tournament. What do you think
Yeah.
that is what's the reason that happens? That huge letdown? Is it that the hunger starts to subside a little bit?
I think no, I don't think it's the hunger because that one hurt too. Like that, just I mean losing hurts, but when
Yes.
we're playing at that caliber and losing in a quarterfinal, it's just you know you feel like quitting, you know. But that I don't think the hunger was subsiding. I think it was more of a we need to figure out where we're going wrong type. Like it was like almost like we have to force ourselves to take a lesson from these losses. I think both of those losses had similar lessons that we figure out now.
Yes.
Like we're
Yes.
glad that
Yes.
it happened because we can kind of implement and change our game now to say that
Right.
hey, let's not go back to that state of volleyball with us.
Exactly. It's not like it gets easier. In 2016, we go to Minnesota,
Yeah.
and the infamous upset of probably that decade.
Yes.
Orlando, obviously, back to back tough losses. You expect them to come out guns hot. And you
Yeah.
do. I mean, granted, there were some issues, right? JJ gets sick. Boss man has to play. Iman Jamal. So, not ideal circumstances, but you end up having a great matchup 7-8-6 in the quarters. And
Yeah.
no one thought that was going to be a problem except Imran Nasser. Imran Nasser knew he was going to be a problem. He
The
had the
dog. Yeah.
confidence. He called it the night before. We all talked about that in his interview and a bunch of other ones. We all know what happens. You're the shocker that no one saw coming. 3 straight tough losses now, and 2 of which were in the quarterfinals. I mean, that's not
Hmm.
Orlando like. I mean, there's also people don't understand when you play for Orlando, you don't play for Orlando Union. You play
Mm.
for Orlando the Jamaat, like the whole community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can come, you will come back from an L.
Yeah.
And it's not like you only have to hear from your teammates or hear from volleyball practice.
Yeah.
You will hear from the uncle that you never met.
Yeah.
He'll be like, "What happened?" And you have
Yeah.
to explain to him what happened.
Right.
And it is your duty to explain to him because he's watching you because he's a fan. He cares. You're playing
Right.
for the entire city of Orlando. You take that L now, 3 straight losses. People are starting to question what's Orlando, one of those teams that like RKs, once every 2 years they'll win one, once every 3 years they'll win one. They're not dynastic in that way. They're not Jaffrey's that win back to back or 3 in a row. Stars did back to back. You guys haven't. People talk about that. Was there a time at that moment now you take that crushing loss? Do you guys all look around and go, something's not right? Like, was there a search for an answer?
I I definitely think the thought that hey maybe we're just a day one team ran through my head. Hey maybe we're just because we didn't lose a single game until that. I don't
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
remember losing any.
yeah.
I think we lost. Yeah, no, we didn't even. I don't think we
No,
lost at
no,
all.
you didn't lose. Yeah,
It was just pure. Hey, maybe we're a day one team. Let's just live by that, and we suck. At
wow.
that point, after those three, back of my mind, I'm like,
Yeah,
maybe we just not. We're not. Maybe we already peaked out.
yeah.
We made it. We won our 2 championships, and that's it. We're done.
It,
You
it,
know.
it it sucks to see. Like, look, when I was losing, it sucked. Okay, but I had never won, so I was still going for something every time. When you
Right.
win, so you're capable, right?
Yeah.
When you're not
Yeah.
winning, you don't know you're capable. So you're trying to be capable. You're already capable, and now you can't get back to that capability. And that's
Right.
almost like a damn, that sucks feeling, right?
Yeah.
And I think the damn that sucks feeling turned into, you know what? Let's just take a break. And we did that. We formed the NWO. The
Right.
NWO is formed in 2016. The A team is formed in 2016. That was when Freddie, Shane, Maz, Jaxie, MZ, they make their own team. And me, you, Ilal, KJRE, we make our own team. And we have a good time and we go to the RK tournament. And it was fun. We tried something new. The Baraza was great. I think it was a
Yeah.
little too premature what we tried because I think that we're still young and trying to navigate through our own games. And when I look back, I'm like, we could have done 1,000 more things. But what are your best memories of the NWO? I mean, obviously taking the L to the A team sucked, but it was just a good time.
NWO, I think we knew going into NWO that hey, like we're going into this having a blast, doing the best that we possibly can. I think I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we knew we're not gonna win it
Yes.
because mixed teams usually don't win,
Yeah, we
right?
knew that.
Like it
Yeah.
usually doesn't happen, but maybe we're like, oh, maybe we could be the first.
Yes. Yes.
I
We
think
definitely thought
outside
that.
of volleyball, that was one of the more fun tournaments that we've had because the Brazil was so great. You know, it was
Yeah.
like squad. It was like a proper squad. Even your friends like Mama Jivraj came, and
Yes. Yes.
like
Yes. Yes.
Sadik was Sadik there?
Sadik was there. Sadik was third
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ali
So
Abbas
it
was
was.
there. Yeah. 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 It was.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just a fun time. You know, it was the vibes were great. But yeah, no, it definitely sucked. It's okay losing, but losing against your own little brother,
Oh.
it was
Yeah.
like,
You make
oh my
I
God.
made so many comments. Like I remember we're standing outside, and I think the matchup was already like we're leaving now, and the matchup was already set. Like it's going to be 18 versus the NWO.
Yeah, yeah.
And somebody comes outside, one of those kids, and goes, "You guys nervous?" And I was like, "Why would the teacher be nervous of their students?"
Right.
And I made that comment, and it bit me in the ass. But I remember that night we didn't sleep. We had Baraza until 7
Hmm.
a.m. Went upstairs, got ready, came right back down,
Yeah.
and just
I slept.
expected. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You slept, yeah, but we expected the L, and it happened.
Right.
It was a good break. I think that was a break that everyone was just frustrated, like they just couldn't break the barrier for a while.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
just come off the crushing loss against Arcays, right? We had just come off like we lost to Arcays with Texco, like and we had
Yeah.
Z. That
Yeah.
was New York Z. Like that was a dub in the bag, right?
That was what,
Um,
2016 Minnesota. You guys made it
yeah,
to the
yeah.
final.
Right when
Yeah.
you lost to Imran Nasir and them, we played
Yes.
Imran Nasir. We're like, yo, thank God we playing 76
Yeah.
quarters in the semis. Beat them quick, go to the finals. Oh, what? We got to play some 50-year-old dudes. We have Z. Got nothing to worry about. We win the first game by like 12. Like it was crazy.
Right.
And then just sometimes, man, it just doesn't pan out. And so we needed that break. That break turns into now Sunshine 2016. The team is back. Everyone's kind of grooving. There's a lot of pieces now. There's MZ, JJ, and Maz, Ari. So there's a lot of moving parts. And while everyone is moving in that tournament, Hilal moved, Imran came in the finals. Like, it all, you stayed as the constant. It was a tough fought series, 3 games. Imran hits the first ball after coming in the front center, hits the last ball of the game. Everyone thinks it's going out,
Yeah.
lands 10
Yeah.
feet in, and everyone's like, what happened? And it's not like it was easy because in the semifinal, you played us. You were down 11-1. You come back and
Hmm.
beat us 12-11. I mean, just, it's if you feel bad about your losses, imagine me. But you're in that final now. You take the first game, take the L in the second game, and it's again that Jaffrey's rivalry. You know,
Yeah.
did you know like MZ comes into the front left, Hilal comes out, Hilal comes back in? Were you like looking around like, holy shit, we're trying everything to win this, and it could happen? Like, did you feel confident?
Uh, yeah. No, I was so laser focused that tournament. I was so focused on defense first. Like that
Yes.
that tournament was like a test. That finals was a test because Kizer had started his shot 2 years prior to that,
Yes.
and he had perfected it by that point. Like it was, if that ball is going up, there's like a 70% chance at the point. And playing against a team that has the ability to get a point on the dime whenever they want it
That was the
was like,
tough part. Yeah.
yeah, like that was but I mean the moving parts. I think we had practiced a lot of them, so it wasn't
Oh, really?
we had practiced quite a few changes that tournament. Yeah,
Oh, that's
there
cool.
was quite a few changes that we had practiced. Not like that much, so that I never thought we'd actually have to use it. But Joffrey's are that team that you're gonna have to pull any card
You
that you
never
possibly
know.
can.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you realize that Imran has steel. You
Yeah.
know, he
Yeah.
has balls.
He does. He
He
does.
was something else.
He was.
Like you can't.
2016, you win that Marhum Johnny Uncle's last tournament, right? He gets to see you
Yes.
guys win. I'm sure it was a great treat. You guys are back on top. And so 2017, you're like, hey, let's take a fun team, a dream team that we always wanted to take. We
Right.
tried it in 2016, it didn't work. So it was very hard for me to convince you guys to do it again. But
Yeah.
this time I said, listen, we're going to take the entire front line. So you don't
Right.
have to feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Me and Bodie will be there. Z, and you're playing with Z, a guy that you've almost had a little bit of a fun rivalry with, right? Across the
Right.
net, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
How was that? He's playing in front of you now. We win that tournament. We go undefeated until the finals, and then of course, the Imran Nasser, the dog in Imran Nasser,
Yeah.
comes out and takes a game from us in the final. We're almost like, yo, we might lose this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that time like? That was a lot of fun. Dream Team was.
Mm.
It was truly just competitive volleyball, like good time.
Yeah, that was it was a situational tournament, right? It was like there's a tournament happening here, there's a tournament happening there, and we can't make it there, but we don't not want to play volleyball. So yo,
Exactly.
Sal, what you doing, bro? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
let's figure something out. And yeah, it was very comfortable because we had our front line. There was no like uh friction between us. We had our netties as well. We had Hassan there.
Yeah.
Um,
We played three
playing with
netties, which was super cool.
it worked somehow.
Yeah,
I don't
weirdly.
know
Yeah.
how, but
Yeah, I
it
don't know how
worked.
either. Yeah, I
I
don't know
think it
how either.
was a very big camaraderie between these three netties to say that, hey, listen, Hassan, you're a freak athlete. Take the most of them, safe. And Z was just like, yo, we're complimenting you. And Z's like, yo, feed me whenever you want. It was just
Exactly.
that combination. And then we had you hitting third balls. We had Imran just pounding away. That was just a good time. It was just a
Yeah,
fun tournament.
it
It
was a
was just a
great
fun tournament.
time. And I
We had
also
Mazharli. We had
oh,
Mazharli. Third.
Muzzley served in the finals the last because Musti was supposed
Yeah.
to come and then his heart situation, but Muzzley served in the finals. He
Yeah.
served, I think, the last ball or the last two balls, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a picture of him, like a small little fat kid, like holding up his, like, yeah, we
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
Such a cutie at the time, right? Like,
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
cute, but it was just fun, man. It was just a good time. I I'm not gonna. This is in no way to take credit away from anybody, and this is
Mm.
no way to undermine anybody else that I've played with. I did not play well that tournament. I'll be very open and honest. I didn't play well,
Mm.
and we won. We won, and I didn't play well. So, if anything,
You got
that
hurt.
showed me
You got hurt at some point as
I got
well.
hurt at some point. My knee
You were
started
playing
to
with a
hurt.
bad
Yeah,
knee. Yeah,
yeah,
you were
yeah.
playing with a bad knee at the time. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I didn't play well, but it just showed me that God damn, this front line is so good. Like, holy, they can make. You can put three pylons back there, and you could probably get to the finals. Like, it was that good at that time. That was like peak front line. Man, you guys are special. Those netties were special. Bode is always special. I mean, it was just Doc Kamali Mokov. Like, it was just these guys were so good, and I didn't even have to do much. Like, I barely even remember taking any points. I remember Chacha was one returning all my balls. Like, it was crazy, man.
Yo,
Um,
Chacho was want to play that tournament, man.
he
That
did.
finals,
He
he
did.
took some clutch
He
balls,
did.
man.
Dude was there for on vacation. Um,
How
and
did he
Imran
get on the
Nasser.
roster?
Yeah, no, he wasn't on the roster.
Okay, there it is.
And Imran Nasser goes to him like day 2.5 at the end, and he goes, "Hey man, you want to play?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you look bored. You just want to play?" And he's like, "Sure." And it's one of those guys that go up for a speech, like not expecting to accept an award, and then they get
Yeah,
up there
yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I'm not prepared for this," and all of a sudden they take out a huge speech from like underneath. That was my uncle. He was like, "Oh no, I'm not prepared for this," but all of a sudden, like, dude's got knee pads and a shirt and shorts, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, you came prepared, obviously."
Yeah, yeah,
He played the line, yeah, original
yeah,
guy who played the line, right?
yeah.
So
And
I
he
guess
played lights out.
it's in my blood to play the line, and so
Yeah.
the guy played amazing, and I'm just like, dude, what? You're like 50, man. I don't get it.
Yeah.
That was fun. I've always looked
That's
up.
fun.
I've always looked up to my uncle. Everyone tells me he was an amazing player. I didn't get to see him much, but dude played. Dude played.
Yeah.
2018, New York hosts again. For me, I think Kizzer transformed the sport
The
to get it faster. Now, Faisal obviously did that earlier, but Kizzer, you guys, the front line, made the sport faster. To me, the peak of the fast was in 2018. Like, not peak, but like the starting, at least maybe, of that era of just everyone now is just on 1,000, right?
yes,
And if anybody doesn't believe that, you go watch that semifinal in 2018 New York when Lambada is just
yes.
going bonkers. And this
Hmm.
front line is just everyone's all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's all over the place, doing everything in their power to return the ball. In my opinion, that was probably one of the greatest semifinals I've ever watched. I've ever witnessed, because it was just pure offense, finesse from Lambada. And then it
Yes.
was just pure defense and just ability to withstand a storm, right? That you didn't see coming. It's like it
Yeah.
wasn't on the Weather Channel. It wasn't on
Yeah.
the weather app. You didn't see it coming, and it just surprises
Right.
you.
Yeah.
And Lambada's born, and you do everything in your power to stop it. You end up in the front left, front center, back in the front right. Like, and legit, you're 2 minutes away from winning. A lot of people don't realize this. You're almost there. Like, it's
In
there
game
in your,
three. Yeah.
yeah, in game three, you're
Yeah.
there. A part of me understands that you didn't know the time because there was a referee, I think his name is Abbas Ali Merali, who
Mm-hmm.
decided to say there was 5 minutes left and then said 20 seconds left. I think there was no time in between. He mentioned.
No, no, no. There's a video of him at 3 minutes. Instead of saying 3 minutes, he does this.
Oh, wow. Great. Great.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we don't stare at the ref the whole game, so we didn't know.
Boston League, we're always going to give you slack for that one.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
it would have set up that, you see, for me, it was like foregone conclusion. We're winning against Allentown Union. You're winning against North. And finally, I get to play Orlando in a final, my home
Mm.
court, and I take my boys down and I win. Like, it was all in my mind. And you know who put it in my mind? RD. RD walks outside and goes, Salman, who are you
Who's
rooting for?
already? Who's already?
Raza Dunji.
Okay.
He
For
comes
those who
out,
don't know.
for those who don't know, he comes outside and goes, what are you rooting for? And I said, a part of me wants my boys to win because I really want to take him down. But hey, playing North wouldn't be bad. Maybe I could avoid Orlando. And he's like, I think the whole world wants to watch Orlando, New York, because of the
Right.
budding rivalry, the undertones of that, right? A lot of guys had moved over, and it was just we were there in each other's grill.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we weren't at your tier of players, right? We weren't you guys. We still
Mm-hmm.
knew that we could take you down. We've had a good record against you guys. We've always played our
You do.
best against you
You
guys.
do. Yeah. You do.
And it was all set up for that. And then you get lombarded, and then we get lombarded, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
we didn't know what happened. Tell me about that semifinal. Tell
Yeah.
me about Usman Lambada and the shell shock that went through your system
Mm.
at that time.
So, leading up to that semis, the second we found out that we're playing Lombardo, or we're playing North in the semis, everyone knew that this new guy is in the back left, and there
Mm-hmm.
were rumors that you guys don't know this guy yet. He
Alice,
hasn't
right?
been exposed yet. But again, like we're like, all right, whatever. I guess this is his peak right here. And I remember speaking to some of the Stanmore guys before, because I think they played them in the quarters, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember, or maybe it was just a round robin game. But I remember some of them saying like, just watch your down the line shots from him because
Yeah,
he hits it pretty well.
yeah,
That's it. You know,
yeah.
that's it. We're like, all right, sounds good. Like fair enough. Um, so we start the game. We take a pretty hefty lead in that first game.
Mm-hmm.
They call a timeout, and then all of a sudden it's like someone just chopped my legs off. It was like it's like okay, you come back from this timeout and you're not allowed to hit overhands anymore.
Yeah,
You're
imagine
only
that.
allowed to you're only allowed to take.
Oh my
And I
god.
remember the first ball came like boom, okay, fine, I got it,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Second ball, I got it. Like then it's just like nonstop, same exact ball again and again and again and again, and it's like I've never seen this. I've
Mm-hmm.
never seen this. Like, I've never seen such consistency,
Mm-hmm.
such dominance in that position, so consistent. Like it was just like nonstop getting bombarded by the same guy, and it was just like we didn't know what to do. But again, first game we took it because we got that lead in the beginning before we
Right,
got shell shocked. We
right.
barely won that first game. I think it was a few points or something like that because they took a timeout kind of late.
Mm-hmm.
Second game, when you mentioned me, I never get switched. I never get changed.
Never.
Ever. Ever, ever. The only times I get changed is when we're playing like a kids team and you
Yeah,
know you want to play front right. It's like,
yeah,
okay, go
yeah,
play
yeah,
front.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But that game, the reason why I got switched so many times is because I've never been broken like that by someone. I've
Yeah.
never, I've given my fair share to a few people. This is shout out to Yusuf Juma because I know he's gonna call me out on it.
Yeah.
I've gotten my fair share from Shanu, number one. Shanu has broken me.
Yes.
Abbas has broken me.
Yes.
Yeah, I give you a point a game. All right, but combine all three of them and then double it,
That was Lamar.
and that was Lamba's second game. And he just like
Oh
it was
man.
almost like I was the target, and
Yeah.
wherever because I remember Faisal had done that to one of our teammates back in the day,
Mm,
where I think it was at the Arcades tournament, where you know, like shout out to Yusuf again.
mm,
Yusuf started off front left, Faisal tore him apart. We moved him, tore him apart there, moved him again, broke him there too. He's like,
yeah.
put him third line. I don't care. I'll beat him there too.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that game he just got the best of me, and I was so shell shocked. I was like, I don't know what else to do, and he was good enough that usually when I get taken like
Mm,
that,
mm.
all of us have our times where one of us get taken, one of us
Yes.
break, but the
Yeah.
rest of the team is so good that we still win.
Yeah.
But he was so good that there's
Everyone
nothing
was
you can do.
everyone was off. Like
There was
it was
nothing
the
you can do.
craziest thing to watch. How do you come back in game three and just try to like be confident? Like, what do you tell yourself after game two? Like what do
Dig,
you do?
dig, just dig,
Really?
just dig. And I remember, I think we got a lead, and then we were leaking a little bit, so Imran and Hilal had changed now. And now I'm telling Hilal, I'm like, yo, now Hilal is taking that ball from an angle. What I've been doing all this time, you've
Exactly.
been taking it from front center. There's less court room to work with. Now you're taking it at the angle. It's a
Yeah.
little bit harder, and I want you to taste it. In my mind, I'm like, taste it now. And
Yeah.
Hilal was taking it, like, Hilal was so confident in himself that he was taking it up top, up top. And I'm like, how is he doing
How
it?
is he doing? Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
so mad at myself. Like, how is he doing it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I just took a massive step back, and I think Maz was behind me.
Mhm.
And me and Maz, I think we will still laugh about it. Like it was just, I
Bro,
was just
you
digging.
saw. I saw it. Like, and I'm not saying the front line was only changing. The back line, you see MZ on the back left, Arfley back center,
Yes.
Maz back right, Maz back left, MZ center, Arfley back right. You're like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
fact that it was so fluid for you guys to do that,
Yeah.
just like very Jaffrey's like.
Mm.
Jaffrey's are that team. All of a sudden, randomly, you see Hassan Gigi back center. You'll be like, what's happening? But it
Hmm.
works.
Yeah.
It just works, right? Because they
Yeah.
have you guys were the same way. You just anybody you put anywhere, it's gonna work. MZ in 2016 played front left. Like
Yes.
and like it just worked. Everyone was ready for every situation, everyone was okay with it, everyone understood their role. It was so cool to watch that. And then you're 2 minutes away or whatever, 3 minutes away from winning. Like
Right.
it worked for a very
Yeah.
long time. You withstood that storm for a very long time.
Yeah.
But credit to Lombard, obviously. Like he does it,
Credit. 100%.
and then nobody even remembers that final. That final was just like the quickest final ever. But
No, it was a good spike. It was a good spike. It was a bump set spike that you guys did. You remember
yeah,
that?
yeah,
You hit a third ball, popped up, he just annihilated it. I
yeah,
mean, there's something.
yeah. It was something because I remembered right directly after that, Lombada took a first ball and spiked it at me. So yeah, I totally
From
remember
back
that
center.
from back center. Yeah. So he's like bump set spike. How about just spike? Um, 2019 Minnesota. Now it had been 3 years since you guys won, which
Yeah.
was 2016, about 2.5 years. If you take out the dream team, if you take out the Orlando Union win in Dubai, the pressure was on. You had not
Mm.
won a tournament as Orlando Union fully in a long time. Probably the longest stretch you had. If you take away
Hmm.
COVID, probably the longest stretch you had. And you guys reached the finals. You guys reached the finals pretty handily. I mean, Minnesota gave you a little bit of a run in the semis, but like you get to the finals and you're playing what is frontline version, or the villainous version of the frontline with Dr. Nick and
Yeah.
Gizzard, right? Like
Yeah.
they're like, yo, whatever you can do, we're just gonna try to do better. Um,
Hmm.
and obviously, an injury to Hassan Maneke doesn't help. He gets hurt. Safe is playing solo, but Freddie Virani, jack of all trades, comes in, tries to help out as much as he can. And then there's a level of you guys play four in the front, and then it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Um, Minnesota hasn't been kind to Orlando. A lot of
Hmm.
things happened there, right? The 786 loss, the Hassan Maneke injury, this past tournament, which we'll get into later, 2011. I mean, it was a very one-sided final, just as quick as the Lombardo New York final. That was
Hmm.
it was pretty quick. Almost disappointing because that rivalry you just expect 3 games, and Stanmore had given them 3 games right before that.
Hmm.
Stanmore gave him a fight.
That was the
Um,
finals.
that
That
was
was
the
the
finals.
final.
Did
Yeah.
that was that crushing? Was that crushing? Because now it had been 3 years. You just took the Lambada L. Now you have to play this freaking crazy front line where you're like, what's happening? This guy's doing
Yeah.
splits. Akhtar's doing splits, and like we're so close, but yet so far.
Yeah. I that finals is one finals that I don't think I've watched more than twice.
Wow.
A, because it's boring,
Yeah.
it's just a beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
B, because like the one thing, we prep for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like we prep for so much,
Mm-hmm.
just in case this happens, just in case that happens, just in case this happens. The one thing that we've never prepped for is losing a netty.
So
And
true.
and the one thing that we never prepped for happened.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what to do.
And that's big
We
for the
didn't
front
know.
line because you need all of them,
Oh,
and for you especially
that's
with Hassan.
that's it for me. That's it for me. Like that's it. If I lose Hassan, it's game over.
Yep.
You want to beat me? Just take Hassan out. Like kick him in the leg or something. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that happened, and it was so. I don't think we lost as we don't. I don't think we lost like motivation to. I don't think we thought that we sucked because of that
Yeah. Yeah.
tournament,
Of course. Of course.
because it was such a special case that
Yeah.
Hassan is a backbone to our team, and you know that now. We all know that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone who's seen Orlando play knows that Hassan is our
He's the
guy.
engine. He's the engine.
100%. Yeah, he's the tires, the engine, the rotors, and he's everything. He's
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, he can make us. He can break us
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
both ways. So yeah, I mean, losing that wasn't it just sucked. I wish we gave Minnesota that option to lose in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
play them in the finals. I
Yeah.
don't think we were nervous getting into that finals though. To be
I
very
don't think so
honest,
either. I don't think so either.
I don't
Yeah.
think we were. I think anything that Jeffries has done against us, we've managed to catch on. And
Mm-hmm.
whether that means, three pounding front lines,
Mm-hmm.
we've managed somehow, some way, we frustrate them, or we just, dig it back to them, let them hit again kind of thing. And we
Exactly.
managed, but I don't think we were nervous. I think that injury just caught us off guard.
Yeah.
And honestly, props to them. Like they can make it work with players that they don't practice with the whole year.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
it's talent.
2019 Dubai happens. One of the best experiences for all of us, I think, right?
Hmm.
Such a cool time. We had so much fun. Unity games. Talk to me about that experience playing outdoor. Again,
Yeah,
injuries unfortunately derail your chances. Hilal gets hurt. The team's not the same. You guys give a good run. I think you lose to Morgoro in the semis, which, you
yeah,
know, it meant to be. They were the better team at the time, I think. What was that
yeah.
like, right? Just playing, hey, we can do, we did well. We got to the semis, like, with a half
Right.
injured team. Like, that was pretty cool.
I mean, that if you remember in around the horn, the question that you had asked is like, what's the most important player
Yeah.
on a team? Like I just said right now, Hassan's our engine and everything, but
Yeah.
it, losing Hilal, that was it was like
That's the killer,
all of
man.
us. Yeah, we don't know what to do anymore. We just don't know what to do anymore.
That's the killer.
When Hilal went down, we tried to make up for it. Mind you, we had beaten Morgoro like three times that tournament
Yes,
already.
yes, yes.
We had readily beat them three times that tournament. They're a nasty team. They're an amazing team. But we weren't worried going into that. But Hilal was just like, I can't. I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and I think if Hilal was fresh that tournament, I'm
Mhm.
not blaming Hilal whatsoever. But I think we would have won that tournament. But again, who knows, Yeah, Jaffrey's are a different
I
team
could
that
see
day
it.
in the finals
I could
as
see
well.
it. I could see it.
But I think because we even beat, I mean, I get Jaffrey's, we beat them in round robin as well, but a different team, still second day. But I think we were very confident in that
I think,
tournament.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys look like
It
a
just clicked.
well-oiled machine. Yeah.
Yeah, it clicked. It just clicked, and it wasn't even our full squad.
It
It
wasn't.
wasn't
It
even our
was
full squad. Yeah, we had
Anu
Anu
and
and
Mossman had to
Maz.
play, and it
Maz
was
was behind me. Yeah,
Maz. It was fun. It was a
yeah.
lot of fun.
That was our first tournament with Alu as back center.
Yes, yes. His first shot, his first real shot.
Yeah,
Um, the pandemic happens right after 2 years wiped, and we see the return of Orlando Union in Stanmore. So if you really
yeah,
look at it now, 2022, Yeah, 2 years of COVID, but you hadn't won since 2016. It had been a
Yeah.
very long time.
Yeah.
You guys steamrolled through the round robin, steamrolled through the playoffs. You lose a couple early morning games, Stars. You lost to Stanmore that first game in the morning for that, that double elimination thing. But which is the Orlando Union way. Early morning games, you can catch Orlando Union off guard. They're not fully awake. But you know what? You still found a way. Stars and Stanmore. You lose to them, but you still, dominating. Okay.
Hmm.
It all looked like it was set up for Stars versus Orlando. The Stars were killing
Right.
it. You guys were killing it. The Jaffrey's team just looked a little off with the Lambada Kizzer thing. It just wasn't panning out too well. Um, Instead, we don't get that at all. We get Jaffrey's versus Stanmore instead of
Hmm.
Stars versus Orlando. That third game, I know it had haunted you for a long time. I know that
Still
we
does.
still does. I know we've
Yeah.
talked about it so many times. There's so many different there's so much analysis on it that people have broken it down time and time again. If anybody doesn't know 8-5, go watch this third game. You're up, it's a minute and a half left. So
53 seconds.
52 seconds. I was trying to be nice. 52 seconds left, and that's a dub in the bag for Orlando Union.
That's game. That's
It's
game.
game over. They put the
Game.
ball over 10 times, and that clock is running, right?
That's game. Yeah.
Um, and take me through that 52 seconds. We see uncharacteristic things. We see the ball fall between you and Halal. We see
Hmm.
you hit the ball down the line, and a point where you could have hit the dagger. I think that you were going for the dagger, right? With your famous patent down the line shot, right?
Yeah. No. Since it's gonna be on air, I do like to. I've analyzed that shot so many times. Like I said, it still haunts me today. Like very uncharacteristic shot from me as a defense first type player. Like
Player.
I
Yeah,
guess I'd like to say that.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if it was a dagger shot or not. I don't think it was a dagger shot. It was just because if you watch that game, I put that ball down the line at least like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a point. It wasn't a point getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a, hey, Hussein,
Keep
hit the
them
ball back
honest.
to us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep them
just
honest.
hit the ball back to us. Waste some
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
8-5.
yeah,
It was just very, very, very bad timing. Just very
yeah.
bad timing. Very badly placed, bad timing. And my credit to Hassan. Hassan still says like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
it
Hudson will
wasn't
always
you."
say that. Yeah, he'll
You
always say
always
that.
say that, but I take full blame for that. Not to mention the 3 points that came after that. Just dumb mistakes, you
I
know.
know.
That was
Uncharacteristic mistakes. Yeah.
very, very uncharacteristic. Yeah, it just wasn't my day, I guess.
Um, eight
Wasn't my
five.
minute.
Yeah, it was, yeah. 8-5, and the L happens, whether technicality or not, whatever. The game shouldn't have got to that point. The L
Shouldn't have, yeah.
happens. What level of shock is there running through not only you but your entire team, where you're like, wow, this was your tournament to lose. No, like, no offense to Stanmore, they're great. At Aldenham, they're great. And in Stanmore and Al Walai, they always do well there. Obviously, hometown tournament, but you've had Stanmore's number for the most part.
Hmm.
This could have been in the bag for you, right?
Right.
And
Well, we
instead,
didn't know. We didn't know if Stanmore Stars are going to the finals yet
yeah, yeah.
at
But
this
I
point.
mean, in hindsight, right? Like,
Right,
could have
right,
been
right.
in the bag for you.
It could have, yeah.
It's just how much was in, like, the burden to bear for your entire team. Like, wow, we almost had that. We
Yeah, no, it was
practically had it.
huge. It was huge. It was huge. Like for a lot of what is it? Like half the team? Yeah, for half the team, it would have been their first like dub.
Yes.
Like their potential first dub. Like,
Mm.
I'll lose a new thing. We're gonna put that crown on your head.
Yeah.
Musti, bro, this is for you, man.
Yeah.
Musti,
Anu,
welcome
Freddie.
to the A team. This is
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Mikhail, thanks for showing up. This is for you. You
Yeah.
know, the
Yeah.
rest of us had a few rings already, like a
Yeah.
few rings meaning few championships. So we already had that run before.
Exactly.
So losing number one sucked, but then losing like that, you know, it
That
almost
hurts.
felt like maybe my time is coming to an end. It's like maybe I don't belong here anymore. I can't be doing these kind of mistakes this late in the game. I can't.
Six years in now, and
Yeah.
and again, everyone was looking forward to seeing the Orlando front line again. Like, have they aged? What did the pandemic do to them? And you guys were just fine, right? You came out better. It's weird. You
Yeah.
came out better, guns hot. I think we all stayed fit in a way during the pandemic and tried to be the best versions of ourselves. And losing offensively is fine. Like if you like were trying to go for the point and maybe you know what, you didn't have a lead or it was a tie game, different. 8-5, Orlando's the one of the best defensive teams in the world. Yeah, that sucks, right? Like that
Mm.
you start to look around and go, what the hell? Like what happened there? A lot of people did. I think a lot of people were shocked from the
Mm.
outside too. I mean, I think I was commentating that game.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it in my commentary.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
shock is just what is happening.
Right.
Nonetheless, you move on fairly quickly into 2022 Tournament of Champions in Orlando. Couldn't have come at a better time where you
Mm.
end up having a tournament in your hometown. For me, my first time, I get the honor of playing next to my favorite player, KJ.
Mm.
I get the ability to kind of watch the game from your perspective. And we go on this amazing run. For you, I'm sure a tournament that you were like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna, I have that chip on my shoulder. I'm gonna get this dub for us. I'm gonna do my very best. And I think for you also there was a level of like, if you wanted to call it quits, you had to. That tournament was the one where it was gonna tell you, okay, maybe you need to call it quits or not, right?
Right. Do I still have
Um,
it or I don't?
yeah, exactly. You wanted to redeem yourself, and you did exactly that. Talk about that run. What was that run like? And tell me about your psyche heading into that tournament.
Um, it was I don't think I lost confidence in my ability because
Mm-hmm.
obviously you can still see, examples of it in practice. I know it's not tournament, but you can still see it in
Exactly,
practice.
exactly, exactly.
Still see that, hey, listen, I can still take all these balls. I can still take
Yeah.
this, pound someone Alu pounds it to me 1,000
Mm-hmm.
times. Like, yo, hit harder, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keep hitting harder. It's
That's always fun
my
to
my
watch,
my
right? Yeah.
fiber, yeah. And I I think the pressure was there because we've never lost an Orlando tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure was there because I had just come off a very self-blaming run. Sorry, one second.
Yeah, no problem.
I had just come off a self-blaming run
Mm-hmm.
um, in Stanmore, and I I think that, like Hillel puts it, like it took a few games to realize that, hey, like this is gonna be easy. Like we're gonna win this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once that we clicked, especially as a front line, like I look at Imran, there's just we locked in. We know
Mm-hmm.
exactly what we're doing. I look at
Mm-hmm.
Hillel, locked in. We're moving like a string together. Um, we're not running into each other. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Once that happened, it was just like, all right,
You got it.
this is a guaranteed. Yeah, guaranteed. Like we got this. We
And
got
I
this.
think you were tested totally. I mean, everyone talks about that right line of you and Freddie Hilal, Aliaskar being super involved. The left line, not so much. Imran really was a role player that tournament, and you guys were stealing the show. And he
Hmm.
let you do you, and you guys were killing it.
Yeah.
I like to think, at least because you're one of my best friends, I can be candid.
Right.
I can also be candid because Lifted is always been candid. In my like the way I speak is candid. I can't tell the guys who I interview to be candid, but I can be candid, and I like to be. 2022 for me was the toughest time in my career
Hmm.
because you go from being the man, getting all the balls, feeling like you were it, to now learning to play a role almost like a shell of yourself. Don't
Hmm.
know, your psyche's messed up. You want to help this team win. You're not getting the opportunity to do that. You're standing third and you feel like shit. And anybody who
Hmm.
tells you otherwise, you're not competitive. You don't love the game, right?
Hmm.
My passion for the game, obviously, I'm doing this, right? So I care about it. It really sucked. And you
Hmm.
always look at the silver linings in those moments.
Right.
One, I was able to win with my friends. Two, I learned a lot from that, and I thank um, all you guys, especially, Hilal, Yusuf, um, and most importantly, Ali Askar, because he threw me on that line
Right.
and just was like, let's see if you can figure it out.
Right.
And we kind of reinvented that position again, right? Because now it's become a thing. Everyone's got someone on the
Yeah.
line, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a very tough time for me. Very tough time where I did the same thing. I looked at myself after that and was like, yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah, we won, but I didn't play that much of a factor in it. And it
Hmm.
sucked. And I felt like maybe my time is done. When I was thinking about all that before, this is walking into the tournament, and you already knew I was being benched at the time. I told myself, I looked at you, okay? And maybe I never told you this, but I looked at you and I understood that you felt some type of way about 2020, about Stanmore. That you constantly brought it up to me, like, man, like, I can't believe that point. Like, it was in your mind.
Mm.
Maybe not even consciously, just subconsciously. It was there.
Mm.
And I said, listen, if I'm gonna play this right line and I'm gonna get to play with KJ, who I have admired my whole career, I am going to do everything in my power to make sure he becomes that dog again. He becomes that KJ again. He gets the limelight. He gets the spotlight. He gets what he deserves, because I didn't want you to lose yourself in that moment, that one point that happened in your magnificent career. I also didn't want people to lose sight of who you were. Like,
Right.
you're him. I
Hmm.
wanted, to put it best, I wanted to be the Josh Hart to Jalen Brunson. You're the Jalen Brunson. I just wanted to be your Josh Hart, man.
Yeah.
Just be that guy to be in your
Right.
ear and tell you, man, you're the best. Man, you're the best. Yo, you know what? Light work. I was screaming
Right.
light work. Every third ball you got was light work. There was a lot of them that weren't light work. You probably turned around. You're like, what are you talking about, bro? But that was my gig. And I just wanted you to redeem that take that
Appreciate
crown
it.
back, right?
I
Um,
remember this. I appreciate it.
so I was very, very happy that you got that, because I tell people this all the time. Yeah, my admiration for you is because of how good you are. And yes, you are one of my best friends, my brother, whatever. But take that all aside. You're just a gentleman, right?
Right.
There's a lot of gentlemen in this game, in this sport, that don't get enough credit. And I think it was time for you to get that credit. Hilal's gotten his. Imran is always gonna get his, right?
Mm.
Imran's the 7 foot guy that walks into the gym, right? You can't not give him his, right?
Right.
But you never got yours, I felt like. And I wanted you to get yours. So I'm happy for you to have done that. Not only did you inspire me, because I think after that tournament, I said, man, KJ bounced back. I can bounce back. I
Mm.
can be a back left. I can reinvent my career. I can have a renaissance, right?
Mm.
So thank you, man. Thank you for that. You inspired me a lot that tournament. And
No, I appreciate the words. You've always been too big of a fan.
yeah, sure.
It's good for my confidence. It's good for my psyche. It helps me just be a dog out there.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I I don't necessarily like the flowers. You know
I
what I
know.
mean?
I know you don't. Yeah.
Um, like Hill's been a big coach, psyche coach, and he's like, just you do you, and everything else will just fall into place.
Exactly.
And me doing me is just, I just want to play volleyball. I just want to have fun. I don't want to give a single point to anyone, you
Yeah.
know? Um, and I want to give all the glory to the people behind me, the people next to me.
I know. Yeah.
Imran's like my, like when he gets a point, oh,
Yeah.
I want to get a point so bad at the same time. But
Exactly.
like he deserves all the freaking, like I told you, man, like he deserves it.
Yeah.
All you guys deserve it. But yeah, I appreciate the words, man. I do.
Yeah, no,
I
of
really
course.
do.
And to be honest, in the down times of that tournament where, like I said, I was looking at it and I was just like, man, where do I fit here? Every time you turn around and give me a five, or we do the wolf pack, or
Yeah.
anything, it would get me back into it and be like, man, okay, let's go. Like, I'm here for this. And after that, you reciprocated that. You've really helped me with my game. Obviously, you're a defensive guru, and so you helped me with my game. You told me you got to fix your left. Yo, you got to do this. Yo, attack the ball. You've been in my ear. You've been my biggest supporter. You've always bigged me up. You're the first one to come give me a five. You're the first one to tell people, hey, you don't realize South taking a point here. Nobody realizes South taking a point. And so
Yeah.
thank you for that, man, because
Definitely.
you've helped me get here. So thank you. I
Definitely.
appreciate that.
Definitely.
2023, we end up in Minnesota again. But this time, God didn't say we're going to send you to Minnesota, which was already dreadful. We're going to send you to Minnesota in October.
Yeah.
Home for you again, right? But again,
Right.
hasn't been kind to Orlando Union. This now the third final that Orlando
Right.
Union is in. We steamroll through the round robin, have a little hiccup against Minnesota, but meet stars in the finals, which is what everyone expected. And
Right.
we lose the first game pretty bad. Second game, we're up 9-4. They make a big comeback in game two. Again, not very Orlando Union esque. You're
Right.
9-4 up. You're gonna win that game more likely than not. Um, so many things didn't go our way in that semifinal.
Yeah.
And game two, especially, two things that definitely was like, okay, man, it's their day. Was your down the line shot where Riaz Chamsi shows up out
Oh.
of nowhere like a djinn, and he's just standing there, like how,
Yeah.
That's why Riaz Chamsi deserves credit for that championship, because that was a momentum shifter, right?
It was. It was. Yeah.
And then my beg and plea of you to spike the entire tournament, and you tell me, no, I'm not spiking at all. But when the time was needed, KJ got up there and spiked that ball. To have the gall to spike that ball at that moment, um, just bro, beautiful. And then Irfan Kamali just, it just doesn't make any sense. And put that ball in the net too on top of that, which was even better. It's like, what?
Couldn't catch a break. That guy was a wizard
Um,
that day.
yeah,
He was a
tough.
wizard that day.
Was it a tough pill, that one, that because like you weren't as involved, and then every time you were involved, you were that difference maker, like you were trying to take that difference maker point.
Yeah.
And it just never worked out in our favor. The ball has to roll your way. There's a little bit of luck involved always, right?
Yeah.
Again, stars, notoriously, Orlando owns stars, right? And now the
Right.
tables
Yeah.
have shifted, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, tell me about that, L, losing in Minnesota again, and tell me about that, just those moments, like were you sitting there like, what else do I need to do?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what it was about that tournament. I guess we were never tested to be able to figure out our flaws. Like we lose some here and there. We lose some. It doesn't phase us ever. But that tournament, we just never lost. And not only did we not lose, we didn't get close to losing. And then finally we're getting to the semifinals and it's like, wait, we're losing? Like we're about to
Yeah,
lose a game like against an Imran Walji less Minnesota. Like
yeah,
what's happening here,
man.
Nathan was wailing that game.
Amazing, amazing.
But yeah, no, and then I feel like we were outplayed with our own game against us.
Yes.
Something that we are notoriously good with is
Yep.
not giving up, sticking to a game plan, not moving aside from this game plan. And
Mm-hmm.
if we do move aside from the game plan, then go back to that game plan and just keep doing the same thing
Mm-hmm.
until it works.
Yeah.
And we just got outplayed. And those moments which you mentioned, I mean, that was my only way to stay in the game. Like
Seriously.
me and Hilal were talking about it recently, and he's like, "You were yelling the entire game," and I'm like, "I was yelling the entire
You
game."
were. You were.
The reason why I was yelling the entire game is because I was so cold.
Yep.
I was so cold, and yeah, Throb's gonna laugh about it,
Yeah.
and he still does.
Yeah.
He still does that, like, haha, we got you. They,
Yeah.
they did get me. Like, I'd rather give 20 points, but
Yeah.
touch the ball than not
Yeah.
play at all.
Yeah.
You know, um, that was heartbreaking. That spike was probably the best spike I've ever hit in my entire life. And I
Yeah.
played high school.
Seriously.
Played high school volleyball
Seriously.
for 4 years. Like, that was one of the best spikes I've ever hit, and it just happened to land in Irfan's hands.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
would have felt for you, because I did look at you many times and was like, damn, man, he's not touching the ball. But then I just looked at myself and I was like, I don't feel bad for you. um,
Oh, yeah, it's a tall task to play behind him, Ron, bro. It's like playing behind
it's a tall task.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
exactly what I mean. Yep. It is. It's
But it's
exactly that.
amazing. It's amazing.
Props to you.
I've actually loved playing behind Imran, and it's been awesome. And he's been so good. And we finally, I think we're catching it now, and the chemistry's there, and it's fun. And
Yeah,
he's actually taught me a lot. Like playing back left, I learned so much from him. He's like some of the things he
yeah,
tells me. I'm just like, dude, like I never thought about it that way, you know.
right. Yeah.
But
You're
yeah,
looking
man,
at it
it's
from
just
top down, you know?
yes, exactly.
It's a
Exactly,
different
man.
perspective.
Exactly. And for me, the battle isn't against the opponent. It's the battle behind Imran. It's like I just got to
Where's the
figure out
ball?
where he's going, where he's not going, what he wants to give up on, what he doesn't want to give up on. Like he
Yeah,
surprises me every time, and that's why it's fun
yeah,
because playing behind Imran is a surprise every single time.
yeah,
Um, we all know we're getting older. Okay,
yeah, for
we
sure.
feel it. You and I, yeah, we feel it week in, week out. We talk about our injuries and we feel, every bone in our body just, I mean, I'm not saying that you're old.
Yeah,
You're still 32 years young. I'm 33.
right,
Still got, some volleyball wise, we're good, right?
right.
But do we want to go through the ringer and the rigorous, thing, about every week practice and twice a week and just, pre-tournament that wear and tear on the body just takes a toll eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
Got a lot of miles on those legs. How
Mm-hmm.
much do you believe you have left in the tank? And does a part of you sit there and go, man, I don't know if I can do this year in, year out?
Mm. No, the fact that like I'm literally hurting after practices these days. I am beginning to believe that, I think it's like let's be honest, we're never gonna get to 50 championships or something like that,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like those days are gone. Those
Mm-hmm.
days are gone. I don't think it's any team that hasn't won yet or has under 10 right now will ever get to 50 because there's not even
Yeah,
enough tournaments. I think.
agreed, agreed.
But I'm very satisfied with what we've achieved in the past 12 years of playing
Yes.
on this A team or 12 14 years of playing on this A team. I I really want to find the next person to give it to, like
Mm-hmm.
literally hand my position. I think we have our eyes on some,
Yeah, we do. We do.
So there's an amazing talent pool in Florida.
Yeah,
Amazing. Like the
100%.
talent here, there's a reason why we were able to dominate because we had players against
Mm-hmm.
us that
Yeah,
were just as good as us to play
exactly.
against
Exactly.
and test us, constantly test us. So I can't wait, I can't wait to give that position and lead the next lead the next team, coach the next team.
Yeah, I think we, as much as we had great mentors and coaches, I mean, this is a great time to be a young kid and be alive because you're playing
Oh
against
yeah,
the best, and the best are still the best. So it's
yeah,
not like they're dying out; they're still the best. So you're gonna get the best version of KJ or Hilal or Imran Jarraj or whatever,
oh
Alias
yeah,
obviously, right?
yeah,
Um, so yeah, that's why I think our talent pool is getting better and better because they're playing against. I mean, to hang in an Orlando Union practice is very difficult.
right.
Trust me, it took me 8 months or 6 months just to
Yeah, you got to hang of it. You got to hang
figure
of
that
it, bro.
out. It takes a while.
Definitely.
What do you see as the future of Orlando Union? Does it have KJ in it?
Yeah. No, for sure. I want to gracefully leave one day.
Yes, same.
I do want to gracefully leave one day. Um, I don't want to be told that, hey,
We talk about that
you
all the
know,
time, right? Yeah.
I think we're done now. I do want to gracefully leave. So I think in the near future, for sure, I do want to assist as much as possible in the guys that haven't won outside tournaments before.
Right,
I want
right.
to assist them as much as possible to win it. And honestly, myself too. We've only won one outside,
Yeah, true, true.
So we definitely want to take it in New York as much as possible. We want to have fun. I
Hmm.
still have a blast playing.
Hmm.
Like these days, especially, pre-tournament practices, you just look forward to practice so
Yo,
much.
seriously, man.
So happy on the day of practices. You're like,
Yeah,
I
I
can't wait.
know. I know.
Can't
I
wait to
know.
pop open that Celsius. It's
I
like,
know, man.
yes.
It's like for some reason, like coming to Orlando, as much as it bogged me down in the beginning, this is the most fun I've had playing volleyball. Like,
Right.
yo, week in, week. Imagine walking into an all-star game every week. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's amazing. You're
Yeah.
playing Imran Juraj, you're playing KJ, you're playing Ilal, you're playing Alyaskar Alu, you're playing Freddie,
Yeah.
Aniti, like MZ, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro, Arfali, like, bro, you can't. It doesn't get better than this, man.
Right.
It truly doesn't get better than this. I'm
Yeah.
spoiled. Like,
Yeah.
and not only do we have the best outside players, we have the best netties. Like, there isn't
Yeah.
a bad set in that practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
Um,
100%. Our B team netties, sometimes I'll play our A team netties, and it's vice versa. And it's like,
exactly, dude.
they're just amazing, amazing. The pool
It,
of
it,
netties is just,
you're right. There is nothing like that. And I think that's what keeps us going. But I think you're right. We all want to gracefully leave one day. I'm not saying we're going to stop playing volleyball. I think we'll
of
just
course
play
not.
for fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right. I don't think that that's the immediate future. I think that's something definitely down the line that we'd consider and
Definitely
talk
not.
about. But I'm glad that KJ isn't at the end or thinking about, because I know that you've uttered those words
Someone,
before in
someone
2020,
told me
2019 or
when I
whatever.
was like, when I was like 20, 22, 24 years old, somewhere around that time, a guy who was like close to 30, he's like, wait until you get to 30, bro. Wait
Yeah,
until you get to 30.
yeah,
Just wait until you get to 30. And I'm like, bro, you don't know me, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then I get to 30 and all of a sudden it's like I come back from practice and this hurts. I'm like, wait, what? Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's never hurt before.
yeah.
Why does
What
it
is
hurt?
that? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like, and then like, you know what? Maybe we I'm not made for contact sports, but the way I play, I'm either giving it 100 or I'm not playing, you know?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you see me, man. I'm still taking drops and stuff and
Dude,
diving.
drops. Yesterday you took like 7 drops. I was like,
Yeah, my fingers come back peeled every day just
I'm
because
like,
of the
dude, what are you
scrapes.
what are you doing? And you never let something drop, which is
Yeah,
I
I
love that,
mean,
man. I love that. It's like
but it catches up, man. It catches
it
up,
does, it
you know.
does, it does, it does. Um, what are your not personal but team wise aspirations for New York? Do you feel that championship is coming? It's like, okay, we won in 2022 Orlando, we lost to Stars in 2023. But again, when you win in Orlando, it's great, but it's also you won in Orlando, right? Like,
hmm
there's a level
It's
of that that's
discounted.
it's
It's
discounted.
discounted.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not taking anything away, but everyone will say that. Well, you won your home tournament. Jaffrey's weren't there. Now there's multiple Jaffrey's teams, and there's this and there's that, and Stars are a different team, and it's very stacked
Oh
now.
yeah.
Like I keep telling people this. I'm not trying to blow smoke, up this tournament's, whatever,
Oh
but
yeah. No. It's
it's
it's a
the
it's
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 the
a
cream of the crop, brother.
cream of
Like,
the crop, 100%. It is
doesn't get better than
that
this. What? So
you can't
what's
put your finger on who's taking it or who's the top eight, who's the top 10. Like it's so hard, you know?
exactly?
Um, my primary goal for this tournament is to have fun. As a team, as a our brotherhood of frontline, like our frontline player, like frontline team right here, me, Hilal, Imran, we focus like, yo, listen, let's just have fun this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just have as much fun as possible, and we can almost guarantee that wins will come from having fun.
100%.
That's why we're laughing at practice. We're having a good time. You know, even when we mix, we're still trash talking each other and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not just like, hey guys, why aren't you taking it seriously? It's like, no, we are taking it seriously. That's
yeah,
why we can play so well right now, you know?
exactly.
Um, I I wouldn't I'm not gonna tell you that, hey, we're winning the tournament. There's no way of telling,
Of course not.
with
Of
this
course not.
this talent pool, there's no way of telling. But I I wouldn't be surprised if we win. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, because like we're in it to have fun. We're gonna have a blast.
I
And
agree.
when we have a blast, it's hard to stop us. So
I
I'm
agree.
hoping for the best. Yeah.
I agree. Um, the lasting legacy of KJ. What do you want that to look like, and what do you want to be remembered for?
Um, I I don't know. One of your podcast guests said defense is your best offense. Someone
Mm-hmm.
said that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone. I think I want to embody that. It's like
Yeah.
uh, like a, like he always tells me, don't go for the flowers. Flowers will just come. You do
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um, that I think that is always focus on more than just the glory points, be a support for your team, all
Yeah.
that, the volleyball jazz. But then also off the court, don't
Yeah.
don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder. Look at volleyball for more than just the ball over the net.
Yeah.
Me and you wouldn't have been best friends right now. Me and Hilal wouldn't be business partners.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be in this fraternity
Yes. Yes.
of volleyball players,
Yeah.
where we all know each other. There's not many people. You walk around at mosque, for example, and you look at the average person who doesn't play volleyball.
Hmm.
The amount of people that you know more than them just because of volleyball, and that you
Yes.
can actually call your friend. It's
Hmm.
just so much more than just a ball over the net,
I,
you
I
know?
agree. I agree.
Um, I think just soak all that in and don't just look at wins, you know? Wins are great. They're gonna come eventually.
Hmm.
But I would love for the sport to grow, not only in wanting to win, which is the great best part about the sport,
Hmm.
but also off the court,
Exactly.
I want that
Exactly.
to be a legacy for everyone.
That's a yeah. I couldn't agree more. We're done with the questions. So rapid fire. I'm going to start. Quick answers. Give me your best shot. Defense or offense?
Defense, no brainer.
Biggest win in your career, in your mind, the biggest win.
Um, I like to say Marhaba because it was an outside tournament,
Hmm.
but personally, if I'm looking at it selfishly, I think being tested um with Kizzer in 2016 Sunshine, personally, I love that tournament. I love being just, whacked at, just every ball is because it was his strong side and
Right.
he was playing front center and I just wait there with the dig
I
because
know.
that's where my high school volleyball came into play, you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
So volleyball is all about getting spiked on, and you're just waiting there, being in the right spot at the right time,
Yeah.
and it just
No,
worked out.
true.
I loved it. Loved it.
Uh, best game you ever were a part of?
Oh,
A game that stands out the most.
um, many would say, many would say Stanmore quarterfinals in 2015 in New
Hmm.
York.
Hmm.
Um, although I don't think I was tested in that game, I think everyone else was tested quite
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah. Agreed.
with that. With elegance. Just I've never seen a ball like that.
Yeah.
You know. Never seen a ball like that from a guy who just stands on on two
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah. Planted.
Just
Like just
yeah.
yeah. He just
Personally, uh, damn, I've never thought of that.
That's why I asked the tough questions, brother.
That is a tough one. You did not prep me for this one.
I did not.
You should have prepped me for this one.
Take your time.
Um,
Take your time. It's okay. It's
if okay, so best game that was successful, or just any best game
any,
that was
any,
just
any,
tested.
any, 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 any.
I think Lombada, man.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I thought you would say that because you like to be tested off defensively, right?
Yeah, I love being
I
tested
expected that.
defensively.
I expected that.
Yeah, I love
Um,
being tested defensively. Yeah.
toughest loss.
Toughest loss is definitely New York Finals, 2015,
Yep.
because that was the finals and we were up.
I think I know the answer here. Biggest team rival.
I mean, Joffrey's, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it is
There's no
like
question.
almost. I talked about it last time. The reason I think the game is as big as it is today. It is a rivalry that has captivated the audience, the young guys, everyone, even the older guys, for the last 10 years. And I'll tell
Yeah,
you why. The younger guys are looking forward to the guy that beats, the David and Goliath, right? That every young kid wants to see that so that they can believe they can do that.
mm.
The older guys were beaten by Jaffrey so many times that they're
Yeah,
sitting
yeah,
there like, finally, right?
yeah,
And then
yeah,
there's us who are just in the mix, who are
yeah.
looking at that rivalry like that's what we want, right?
Right.
So that is why I think it's made the biggest difference. And as much as many times as you think you've seen it all with Jaffrey's and Orlando, you've just never seen it all,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And we saw that in Stanmore too. Like You've
Yeah.
never seen it all.
One thing that really stands out, when a team is organized in a way to beat the Goliath, like beat that team that
Mhm.
is always just winning.
Yeah,
And for us as Joffrey's, like Joffrey's was, I mean, if Marhum Faisal was still here, obviously,
obviously.
we wanted to beat him as much as possible. We only got that one shot at him,
Hmm.
unfortunately. But when a team has to stack their team to be able to beat the other team, the other dominant team, and one tournament it's gonna be we are gonna play this line, and then we win, and then the next tournament they come with someone else.
Yep.
We're like, okay, we haven't prepped for this. We didn't know
Exactly.
this guy
Exactly.
plays, so we prep for that, but we lose in the process.
Yeah.
And then the next tournament we beat them, and then the next tournament after that they come with some two other people, and it's like
Yeah.
what?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like we're when a team has to prep to beat that one team, because let's be honest, we're not prepping to beat a B team or C team,
Yes, of course.
right?
Of course.
We're not prepping because we think that we're good enough to be able to beat them.
Yep.
Um, that one team to beat, it's just you have to give it to Jeffries.
To
Have to.
put the rivalry in a sentence, the only thing sure about Jaffrey's versus Orlando is that you're never sure. That's it.
Yeah,
You're,
yeah.
you're never sure.
Real
Um,
point. Yep.
best player rival.
Best player rival.
Who did you get up against and go, that's the guy I want to take down, or that's the guy I'm going to showcase that I'm better than?
All right. So, I do pride myself in one thing, and I told you we've had this conversation before. My first time ever being just beaten down
Mm-hmm.
was Shanu in 2013 Al Wahda,
Yes, yes.
right in the semis,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even think it was that bad, to be
Right,
honest.
right, right, right.
But the spectators that make fun of me about it
Mhm.
till today, till today, I will always have that chip on my shoulder and say that, hey, they never got me again. They
Yes,
never got me again.
yes.
Abbasali got me in 2018 New
Yeah,
York,
yeah.
and I think it's safe to say that he never got me again.
Yep, yep.
Lambada got me in 2018 New York, and I hope to God he never gets me
Yeah,
again.
exactly, exactly.
Guy is just fluid. So my answer, I think I'll give it to the first one that I said. I think it's Shanu.
Hmm.
That Shanu had such a lethal cross court shot.
Yeah,
And the guy's ambidextrous, for God's sake. He can hit
I
that same
know,
ball
I
front,
know.
right, front, left. Poor
Crazy.
guy Hilal was just bored, right in the
Yeah,
middle,
yeah,
just
yeah,
watching us
yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah.
And I remember when Arfi was behind me, I'm standing literally on his toes and just taking every single ball
Hmm.
in Marhaba.
Hmm.
And that video I've watched multiple times because like, man, I love playing against Shanu. I
I know,
wake up to play against Shanu because
I
I
know.
know he's coming after me.
So
I just
true.
know it.
I love that
I
answer.
just
I love that answer. People, a forgotten man who dominated this sport
Oh yeah.
for a
I
long
think
time.
you give that guy 6 months. You give the guy 6 months and give him a semi decent squad, he'll still
Yep,
take you to the
yep,
promised
yep.
land. I
I mean,
still think
he's
so.
moved on to better and bigger things in golf. He hits his 9 iron like 250 yards, but yeah, man, the guy is just a beast. Um, toughest opponent in your mind? Uh, is it still Jaffrey's or is it
As a
another
team or individual,
as a team?
I I don't know what Jeffries looks like anymore. Um,
True.
I, if it's the same old school Jeffries,
Mhm.
I'd still give it to them because you just like you said, you're just not never sure.
Yeah.
You're just never sure, and um, they're just so talented, man. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
the fact that Mason can come out of net his whole life and just hold his ground in the back. It's
Crazy.
just like you guys are born players
Yep.
there.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think slowly but surely, the toughest opponent will be, the likes of Stars.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I think Minnesota in a few years.
Yes, yes, yes,
I don't
yes.
think they're there yet,
Yeah.
but I think Minnesota in a few years. Stanmore's always fun to play against.
Yep. 100%.
But I think the toughest opponent would still be Jeffries. Like I would never say that, yo, Jeffries easy dub. Never. Those
Yeah.
words will never come out of my mouth, you know.
Yeah. I totally agree. We'll
Yeah.
run through some teammates now, and you give me the
Yeah.
best way to characterize them in your mind. Your
Yeah.
left hand man, Hilal Virji.
He is my godfather. My
Mm.
godfather. My he's my Munna,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the IQ of the game. If
Yeah.
I will just play. I told him, bro, I am an employee to your business.
Yeah.
I am an employee to your business on the court. You you tell me to do something, I'm gonna do it because I fully trust you.
Yeah.
You just look at it a different way. And I
Yeah.
think I think credit goes to him for all our championships, you
Yeah.
know, all our
100%.
wins. Um,
100%.
Everyone else has just been a factor in his game plan, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
I'm gonna mention some guys you played in front of. Freddie Verani.
bro, peace of mind, man. Like he's he is such an underrated talent.
I agree. 100.
Such an underrated talent. Like he is so good at volleyball.
He can do
He
so
is
much on the court.
so good
He
at
can do
volleyball.
so much on the
No,
court.
no, I was just thinking about it the other day that he was the guy that I was gonna say in 5 years ago.
Yes.
You tell me,
Yeah.
yo, listen, who are you gonna retire for? I
Yeah.
would have said Freddie,
Yeah. Agreed.
100%. I
Agreed.
still think he's better than me at my position. I would still give him that. That he's still better than me in my position. It's just unfortunate for him that we have this chemistry with our front line.
Right. Right.
That he never got a shot at that position.
Right. But he's made a home,
But
man. He's made a home.
he's yo, and that's how talented he is.
Exactly.
That's how talented he is. He is
Exactly.
so good. He's
Exactly.
so good at volleyball. He's another athlete.
Next. Yeah. Go
Look at
ahead.
him go. Look at him
Yeah.
go.
I mean, dude, the guy is in 2 years has become like
Yeah,
10
yeah.
handicap, 8
He-
handicap, whatever it is.
He's
Um,
amazing.
next on the list, Arif Ali.
He's my OG, bro. He's my forever right sideline teammate. You
Mm-hmm.
know, till today when Arfi steps on the court, you know, Arfi, he's very wary of his knee and his injuries and stuff. So when he steps on
He
the
was like, I
court,
need KJ. I need KJ.
yeah, and I feel natural behind him. There's no getting used to it again. It's just, oh, Arfi's behind me. Cool, sounds good.
Agreed.
I'm just
Agreed.
gonna do me. You know.
Ali
So
Asgar Allu.
wow, how good is he, bro? Like he is the knight in shining armor that came onto Orlando Union A squad. You
When
know,
the team
we had
was dire in
yeah,
need of something fresh.
yes. We had talent on our team. We had won championships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but unfortunately, not I shouldn't say unfortunately, but this new age of volleyball, like I said, when we watch those old videos, you almost get bored watching them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There was no such thing. I'm blaming Arfley for losing that game against Faisal that one time because he jumped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That just keeps his feet on the ground. We're lucky.
We're yeah,
You know what
we're upset. We're like, yo, get up,
I'm saying?
brother.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
What's going
doing?
on? And he's that talent that's able to do that. You know,
Yeah.
he's that guy that we had to like look everywhere for, and you know, he showed up. He shows up when we need. We've never had that peace of mind in the back of our mind that hey, we have a guy on our team that can get us 4 points
Flip the
without trying.
momentum, stop the
Yeah,
bleeding, keep the
yeah,
run going. Like
yeah.
he's
And
that
he's
guy.
so confident. He's
He's
so
that guy.
confident.
He's that guy.
He knows his ability, and he's not scared to try new things.
He's the Kevin Durant, like the
Yep.
the tall, lanky kid who just comes out of nowhere with
Yeah.
that speed, and you're like, what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
Um,
So
the
talented.
the
So
guy
talented.
on the other side, Imran Juraj.
Oh, he's I would it'd be a lie to say that he's my counterpart on the other side because he's so far from it. If there's a guy on the team that I am willing to tell the entire team, hey, listen, I'm putting every single ball in net, it would not be for Alyaskar. I love Alyaskar to death, but it wouldn't be for Alyaskar. It'd be for Imran.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it would be for that guy because it's just I've seen what he can do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and yo, I still mess with him. The fact that like, he can't, like, he still digs with this
I don't
you know,
understand
but
the
yeah,
chess
so,
dig.
he has it in him to win us games, and I'll
It's
never forget all the wins that he's gotten us. You know, like
it's
all
almost
the
like he makes you think you're gonna Mikasa him, and then he's just like, nah, just kidding. I'm digging this.
yeah, yeah. I have Mikasadin. I know he's forgotten, but I have Mikasadin on a spike like 10 years ago. Just want to put it out there.
Ah,
But
IJ.
hey, listen. He's right here, bro. He's
Yeah,
right here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ali T,
Uh, he's a rock. He's
Mr.
a wall,
Old
bro.
Reliable.
All time, all time. A funny thing was I think LDT finally got his crack on the A team, right? In 2022. Finally. Been here for a minute,
Mhm,
but finally got a crack on the A team. Now, when LDT was in Allentown, and
mhm,
whenever we played Allentown,
mhm.
we went for LDT.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
would aim at LDT. We would say, hey, listen,
Mhm,
keep hitting him until he cracks,
mhm.
and the game is yours. He's not that guy anymore.
No.
He's not, he doesn't crack. He doesn't crack. He's just a brick wall.
And it's just
He's just
like
a,
you'd always feel safe in Ali T's hands. Like you're just like,
yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
can put the guy anywhere and he's gonna be as effective as he
Yep.
would be. Like his, there's a stat called win above replacement, right? You can move any player on this team,
Yeah.
and the win above replacement will not be that far apart because he is just really good at everything.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
every the guy's
He-
playing net right now sometimes in practice, and he's still good at that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's
Um,
amazing. No, he's a very talented player. He's an athlete as well.
yeah,
Same
exactly,
thing. He'll pick
exactly.
up anything.
Um,
He's a rock man.
the guy who's almost known as KJ's personal netty, Hassan Manakia.
That's it, bro. He's my first. I can't play without him, man.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, because Hudson took a hiatus from volleyball for a little bit, right? Before Dubai, I think. And
Yeah, he's playing soccer and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, the thought ran across my mind, especially after he got hurt a few years
Yes.
ago.
Yes.
The thought ran across my mind. I have full faith in Mikhail and Safely,
Mm-hmm.
150%.
Mm-hmm.
But the thought ran across my mind that, if Hassan's not playing, that really affects my game. It
Yeah.
genuinely affects my game so much because
Agreed.
I rely on that guy so much. And
Yeah.
every time he turns around, that's me, bro.
That's
That's
me.
me.
That's
That's me.
me. I
You
love
you
that
got that?
about him, bro. I
He's
love
just a dog, bro. He's the dog.
I
He's Josh Hart.
love that about him.
He's Josh Hart, bro. He will
He
play
is he
48
is
out
Josh
of
Hart.
48 minutes.
Yes, he is Josh
He will
Hart.
play 48 out of 48 minutes and he will save you when you don't expect it.
And to be honest, people get on him about that spike in that final. Brother, 10 times out of 10, I'm telling Hassan Manakia to spike that ball. He
Bro, he
deserves
does it
to
in
spike that
practice.
ball.
He does it in practice 20 times, bro.
Deserves to spike that ball. Hassan Manakia, you are the dog of dogs.
Mhm.
Mikal Darcy.
Bro, he's the new kid on the block, bro. New kid on
Here
the
to
block.
stay. Here to stay.
Yeah, yeah. He's been gone right now, and you miss his presence
You
on
miss
the
it.
on the
Yeah,
court.
you miss it.
He has a beautiful lift, bro. I
Fluid.
mean, he modeled it after one of the best niggas to ever play, for God's sake.
Yeah, yeah.
Like safely, he's looked at safe. I remember watching Safe play, and I'm like, yo, Safe, how is, bro? Mind you, like I told you, Sib taught us how to play net.
Mm-hmm.
Sib will play third line and still have knee pads on.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
so
Yes.
so when we were taught to play net, I mean, it's knee pads only. And I
Yeah,
remember watching Safe for the first time, like, bro, this guy's not wearing knee pads, bro.
yeah.
And then one random day comes to practice, and yo, Mikhail's not wearing knee pads.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah,
like
that's true.
fast forward 6 months, Mikhail's lifting like Safe.
I never
Like
thought
these are
about Mikal doesn't wear
dead
knee pads.
beautiful balls coming out of the net. And I'm like,
Seriously.
wow,
Seriously.
yo, he's so good, man. He's when he catches fire, bro.
Yeah. I the next guy on the list was safe.
Oh, he's my OG guy to mess with.
Yeah, oh my god, that back and forth you guys have.
Love it.
Love
I
it.
love it. I
Love
love
it.
it. Safely is he's a netty. He's a netty with so many more talents than just netty.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
mess with him. We
Mhm.
mess with him. Yo, Faisal Banji was a netty at one point, bro.
Yeah, he always says that. He always says that. I'm like,
And
bro,
it's like,
there's no chance, you know.
and it's like, every time you're like, oh man, yo, Aditi's late, or this guy's not coming to practice. He's like, yo,
I'm
I'm
ready.
here, bro.
I'm ready.
And oh, we not, like, we can't forget the fact that Hilal got hurt right before Ramadan tournament, and we were we were top seeded and safely beat us, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's good, man. Like, I've never seen him play out like that, and
He played
he has a ball.
strikers out. That was crazy. Even Imran Juraj was messing with him this time. Like, hey, safe. I'm not playing Friday. You can play, right? Like, you got me, right?
Nah, he's just so much fun to have. He's a great voice. He's an amazing listener. Amazing listener. You can talk to him about anything.
Yeah.
Um, just
You guys remind me so much of each other. Like, you guys are similar in that way. Just good
I
vibes all
love
around.
Safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love Safe. I love having him around.
Yeah. Yusuf Juma, you got to make this nice.
Oh man, Yusuf, bro. I call him Joe.
Oh, yes, me too.
Yusuf is he's that guy that you just need to have that uncomfortable conversation with.
Yep.
That he'll he'll spin something that never existed
Mm-hmm.
and make it into a reality, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll you look at it from a different perspective, whether it helps you or not,
Yeah.
it'll give you a laugh,
Yeah.
you'll have a great time with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just move on. Like, Yusuf is just that guy, bro. I'd love to have him,
That
in
guy.
every tournament. He still
Um.
prides himself, by the way. He hasn't said this publicly, but we've never won without him.
Wow. That
We've
is
never
true.
won. We've never won without his presence on the
That
court.
is
Not
true.
on the team,
Yes.
but
Yes. Yes. Just him
without.
being there. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Maz Jaffer.
Whoa. So Maz, whenever he's playing, his phrase is joylit,
Yeah.
and it started in Marhaba when he played back center behind Hilal as a defensive position,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and for 3 hours that guy was just yelling joylit at the top of his
Yo,
lungs.
seriously.
Just joylit, 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 as if every single ball is coming his way or one of our
Yep.
ways. And
Yep.
Maz was just that he was just such good vibes on the court.
He still is. He's such good. He's still such good.
So
I love playing with
yeah,
Maz in practice.
and bro, I had a recent conversation with Maz, and we're talking about the dynamic of the team and whatnot, and he was a dog when it came to winning. He's like, bro, listen, okay, Marhaba Cup, Kaiser spikes like 3 balls in a
Mhm.
row. Okay, we call timeout right after. Maz is like, bro, I've never been Mikasa 3 times this fast in my life. Back to back to back.
This
Now,
story is
someone gets
great.
Mikasa first time. Someone gets Mikasa the first time. The second time that's coming, bro, you're dodging it.
Yes.
But no, not Mas.
Took it.
Because he will take a slap to the face if it
Yes.
means
Yes.
we can potentially win a tournament.
Agreed.
He's that dog.
Yep.
He's that dog.
Yep. JJ Bojani.
Like, forever chairman for me, bro.
Yeah.
He'll always, we just reconnected recently over golf, and it's like, I still see him as that guy,
The ultimate OG. The ultimate OG.
Ultimate OG, ultimate
Ultimate
OG,
OG.
forever OG.
Always
Like,
there.
he always,
Always there for Orlando. Always there sitting on the sideline.
yeah,
If
like
you're in a semifinal and you're lost, you just turn around, JJ's gonna be there.
exactly. And that the piece that comes to mind when we call a timeout, we're down, and JJ's like all swagged up, sitting in the back,
Yo, seriously,
just standing
tracksuit
there.
and all.
Yeah,
Guys got next season's tracksuit, next year's tracksuit already. You're like, what?
yeah,
How do you
yeah,
have
yeah,
next
yeah.
year's tracksuit?
And he's just standing there, and he's just looking at you, and whatever he says is it's gonna be Bible to you,
100%.
just because he's always been that guy to us.
100%. Wheezy, Ali Akbar Bimji.
Oh, Wheezy, bro. Wheezy was he's he was the Munna of the netties. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
The guy saw the court and the game from a completely different lens than all of us. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't just play to lift the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He was so calculated. He was so talented, number one, but he was so calculated that I've never had a netty give an input in a timeout where it's actually weighted.
Yeah.
He was a bloody smart netty. You
Agreed.
know.
Agreed. One of the best. One of the guys who doesn't get talked about enough. I don't think
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
deserves more than what he's getting. I'm
Definitely.
gonna throw some random one at you. The king of Sanlando, Sajad Kimji,
Coach, bro, forever coach.
forever coach, man.
Forever. Way back in the day when we were playing, when we were just a few of us youth, and I was playing high school volleyball at the time, and he would legitimately set up plays so that I could spike.
Mm-hmm.
It was the coolest thing ever. He would whisper to me, he's like, "Yo, listen, few rallies in, you're gonna get a ball to spike," and he would drop someone, and that guy would just dig it up, and boom, you know.
Oh, that's
Um, and he was just the small things that he taught us in volleyball, how they came to fruition in our game, and now are just natural. You know, we never got to appreciate him honestly before he
we
left.
didn't. He was the front line before the front line. Like he
Exactly.
was that
Yeah.
guy. He was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
dude. He was him. He was him. 100%.
Yep.
Doesn't get enough credit. Taught again, very underrated and one of the best to ever do it. Like hands of like his hands were just so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Amazing, bro.
in your opinion, if you had to pick one, who is the GOAT?
Um, we've had this conversation. I think I do like the point that Kizzer made on his podcast that it's very difficult to come up with a GOAT if you haven't seen everyone play. There's probably some guy in India who's just so nasty
That's true.
that it's unfair. But let's just talk about in our own lens.
Yeah,
I think with the cards that he was dealt, it has to be Faisal.
fair,
With the cards that he was dealt, it has
fair.
to be Faisal. That the teams that Faisal took and won every single tournament, sorry,
Mm.
every single tournament. Um, you have to give him credit for that. I think in our current day, there's no question, bro. It has to be Kizzer, bro. It has to be. The guy is he's a LeBron. Like
I
he's a
look at
man
you and
all
Kizzer
the
like
elite.
I look at you and Kizzer like the master of offense versus the master of defense, and that's why I feel like your matchups are so great because
Yeah,
you can be offensive, he can be defensive, but your bread and butter, it's like your bread and butter's defense is bread and butter's offense, and then when it clashes, it just makes for the best volleyball you're ever gonna watch. And that's why I
right,
like to think that is just a great rivalry. Just if you want to admire two guys going at it, it's Kizzer and KJ. It's just so much fun.
right. Yeah,
Um,
no, I love our matchups. I love when he's hitting at me.
yeah,
I love I love when I give a point. If it's to a guy like Kizzer,
worth
I'm
it.
okay with it.
Yeah,
The
yeah, it's
fact
okay.
that, bro, the guy can jump up and spike a ball at me. He can go two-handed and spike it,
Yeah,
two-hand spike it.
yeah,
And then he can do it four times, and the next ball he drops me. It's
yeah.
like, bro, you're so damn good.
Seriously,
You're
seriously,
so good.
seriously.
Yeah, it
Um,
has to be.
I am gonna leave you with this one. When people ask me, who's your GOAT frontliner, I always say KJ. And they go, well, why KJ? And I go, if there was six of somebody, um, if there was six of somebody, and I wanted to go win a championship, and I had to pick just one guy, but I can replicate him and make six of him, it's by far it's KJ for me, right?
Mm.
For you, if you had to pick that one guy that you could replicate and make six guys, same guy, you can win a championship, who's that guy?
Great question. Um, I th okay. I think the hands down for me, like the flat out answer would be Kizzer.
Mm-hmm.
However, because bro, his offense is so good that it shadows his defense, but his defense is so damn
Right,
good
right,
too.
right, 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 right.
Yeah, I don't even know how old he is. How old is he?
27, I think 28, something like that. Yeah.
27, 28 years old, and the guy can still get from corner to corner in a
Yeah.
split of a second
Yeah.
and take a drop ball,
Mm,
playing backline, you know.
100%.
Um, but in terms of control and a
Mhm.
solid offense, solid defense, I think I'd put Throb in into that mix. You know, Rob's offense is spectacular. His defense is just as spectacular.
Yeah, that's
The only issue is that I've never seen him play frontline.
yeah,
So,
true, true.
we've seen Kizzer play from netty all the
They're
way to
everywhere.
service.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Um,
I like
yeah.
that take. I like that take. All right, predictions. Give me the finals. I know you're not gonna tell me who the champion is. I know you're not gonna give me all that, but tell me who's in the finals in New York.
I want to see a rematch between us and Stars.
So do I,
I
brother.
want I want redemption. I want
So do
redemption.
I, brother.
Yeah,
hundred
I want
and
redemption.
10%. Um, maybe we'll see him. Maybe we'll see him again. Um,
We don't know what the teams are, what the Jaffrey's teams are. I really want to know these teams. You know, like
yeah,
I really want to see what they've come up with. You know,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I commend all these Toronto teams that they're actually growing the sport.
They are. They are B team,
You
C
know,
teams. Like it's crazy, man. Stars has 3 teams. This Jaffrey's has 4 teams. I mean, it's crazy out there. It's
yeah,
nuts.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I one of the podcasts that you had put the Freddy's
mhm,
where he said how when we were kids we used to go to volleyball with our parents. That doesn't happen anymore. So
yeah,
like, how do we expect the sport to grow
that's so true.
further? We really need to work on that going forward. But it's just great to see that you know these teams are coming with multiple teams now. Finally,
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
great.
Anyways, my
I hope.
man KJ, I appreciate you. I know it's been a long time. I took too much of your time, but
No, I enjoyed every second of it, bro.
thank you so much for this. I appreciate this. Like I said, I've always wanted to do this. It was an honor. It was a privilege. It felt like Thursday night at your house, like just chilling,
Yeah,
chilling.
yeah, yeah. It's
Uh,
felt like lunch
yeah, I
at
felt
your
like lunch.
office.
Yeah, just felt like lunch. Yeah.
It was a good talk.
I'll probably see you tomorrow or something. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Just one more point. You named everyone on the team, bro, but you didn't name yourself.
Right. For
So my take on your addition to the team, you just bring a completely different vibe. Whether you're in, whether you're out, you're pumping up the entire team. You
Mhm.
know, you're that talent that just you've gotten so much better since you came to Orlando.
That's yeah, you guys have done that to me. Yeah.
You've you've gotten so much. Your defense is on another level.
Mhm.
I'll give you one or two, off down the line
Still,
shots. And
still. Yeah.
yeah, you have to, as a respect, you
As a
have to.
respect. Yeah.
It's been an honor to be on the, back in the day, we used to dream about, oh, Dream Team and
Yes.
NWO,
Yes.
and now we're living it,
We're
now we're
living it.
living it.
We're
We're
living
all on
it.
the same team. We're going to the court with the same mindset instead
Yeah.
of, hey, you guys are in the finals and,
Yes.
I'm out. It's like,
Yes.
that doesn't happen anymore. We're all together in this, and it's been an
Yes.
honor. It's been a
Yes.
good time.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do it again this time,
Yeah. No,
hopefully.
thank you, man. I appreciate those kind words. And all I know is that if this journey were to lead to something perfect, there's nothing perfect in winning in New York. Like for
Yeah.
me, that is the top. Like going home, breathing in that sport time air, that hockey, all
Yeah.
that chuffiness, and then just, I'm gonna kiss that ground and be like, this is home for me. And nothing will feel better than winning with my brothers, being a part of that finally, I think. And then also, just bringing good vibes, man. That's just my goal, is just bring good vibes, be there for you, be there for Hilal, be there for
Yeah.
him, be there for Aliesker, be there for Freddie, be there for Ali T, be there for the Netties, be there for Musti, be there for Arifali. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be there. That when you
100%,
need
bro.
someone to lean on, that's what I'm there for. So
And you've
thank you,
been
man. I
you've been
appreciate the words. Like I
absolutely.
said, an honor, privilege. You're the best in my mind in the game, best frontliner ever. Not gassing you up, not giving you too many flowers. I'm just telling you the truth.
Thank
And
you, bro.
and I'm gonna remember this interview forever. So I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate it, bro. Thanks a lot, man.
Good night, everybody. I love you all. See you this weekend, and I'll see you at the tournament. Take care.